I always forget this. Okay, another 2 seconds. Tech. Okay.
Looks like we're streaming on this side.
Yeah, okay, good. Then I think, yeah, we are going, and I've got a very awkward expression when I'm looking at the screen over there. So that's good. Hey, everyone, welcome to today's session. I'm just going to take it a little bit slow because we've got a lot to discuss today. And as you know, we've got a guest celebrity coming in as well. That's why I'm all dressed up. And I want to make sure that I get you all warmed up and excited before we get into it. So let me just see who else is on the call today, who else is coming in. I see, oh wow, Jenna, I think this is a record of some sort. I'm looking at the Facebook Live right now, and I see 22 people watching.
Oh,
It's
wow.
never spiked up like this in the first, it's not even the first minute, it's still 3 p.m. So Eastern. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, all right. So just give us all the yeses and everything, and we know everything is working fine. As always, tech can be glitchy sometimes, so I want to make sure that everything is good. Steve, Barna, Damien is here, Dennis is here, Giselle, as always. Oh, by the way, just quick props to Giselle. I know she's listening in, but she posted a screenshot earlier today, and I think, Jenna, maybe you saw that as well.
I did. In fact, it made my slide deck for today.
Oh, it did. That's excellent. So what Giselle had done she'd taken action. She'd taken the worksheets from yesterday. She printed them out, much to the annoyance of her husband or partner rather, whichever that is. And she was filling them all out, and she had so much clarity about how she was going to go about and create her course. So again, just to kind of reiterate that point I keep making over and over again, what motivates me to continue to give value to you is seeing you take action. The day you all stop taking action is the day I stop giving any more value, because I know it's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to fall on deaf ears. So I'm really happy to see Giselle's taking action. A few other people are chipping in as well, saying that they've done something, they've gained more clarity since our sessions. So that's really, really good to know.
Outstanding. Yeah, I was really impressed. She had them all lined up there and then posted. I guess her husband didn't like her printing out that much paper.
Yeah, that was a lot of paper.
Color, no less. Color.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think, Jenna, that must make you proud as well, because I know you worked so hard on creating these worksheets. And I know if I created something like that, it would make me really happy to see people actually downloading it, printing it, taking action with it.
It did. I'm always happy when somebody actually starts putting it down on paper instead of like, oh, those are really great worksheets. I'm going to sit down Monday and do them. Like, no, you're not.
That's true. They say that when you attend a session or something, as long as you implement something in the next 4 to 6 hours, then it will stay in your head, and you'll continue to work towards it. But if you kind of let it just simmer and say, oh, tomorrow morning when I wake up, mañana, that's when I'm going to do it, it never really goes anywhere. So talking about not going anywhere, today is complete opposite. We're going to take you somewhere. So I find a lot of people who get ready to create a course, they feel that they can do it, they still have some things that hold them back, and those things are all around the technicalities of getting started. I even had one of the users who might be listening in today contacting me saying that he was stuck at a technical step. And it's a pity when that happens, because here's the thing. Back in the day, people used to do all kinds of trades, they used to do all kinds of things, and computers were not even available. Computers were not accessible to anyone. But times are changing, but still technology is changing so quickly, it can still be a little bit difficult to stay up to date with it, to understand what you need to do to bring everything together. So what ends up happening is people who don't have the right toolkit, even though they might be really knowledgeable, they might be really good at what they know, what they do, they get left behind. So my job with Kyvio, and again, I'll show you some of that today. My job is to make sure that if you have something to share with the world, you don't get left behind because you can't build a site, or you can't put courses in a place where they're protected, or you can't send out emails because you don't even know, how to send out a broadcast or an autoresponder sequence to a bunch of people. So to me, when I talk to, and again, I just want to be very, honest there. To me, when I talk to people like my dad, and I try and explain to him, this is what I do. And as much as he wants to, he's not in the same world as I am when it comes to computers. So it's difficult for me to explain to him that everything that you've been doing for all your life, you can now just do it sitting at home. You can just sell the education, everything that's in your head, and you can do that from the simplicity of being behind your machine, being in front of rather your computer. So that's something that we want to do for you today. So
that's like an introvert's dream right there. You just said everything I needed to hear.
It is. It absolutely is. And again, it's, I think it was Darwin who said it's survival of the fittest, right? That used to be the thing back then. Now it's the survival of the geekiest, survival of the person who can use technology the best. But you don't need to develop stuff to be able to sell courses. You don't need to create, difficult coding with HTML, JavaScript, and whatnot. It should be simple enough. And that's our goal today, to give you the ability, the capability that once you have something you want to share with the world, you can do that without any other hangups. Because trust me, there's nothing more disappointing than watching someone who has a lot to share with the world getting left behind because they can't keep up with the technology. So that's what we're going to change today.
Outstanding.
Good. So here's the thing. As you see, I'm wearing the Kyvio t-shirt, and the reason for that is because today I want to talk about Kyvio. So when it comes to selling a course, you think the very first thing I need to do is upload videos into YouTube or Vimeo and all these different platforms, and that's pretty straightforward to do. You can put videos somewhere, you can get the embed codes, you can put them on the page. In fact, that's what I did for my first course. So remember a couple of days ago, I told you that the first ever course that I created and sold, I did $17,000. Now, I was a complete newbie back then. I did not have any kind of membership site structure. So what I did, I had about, I think, altogether 12 videos. I put all those videos on a web page. I paid someone to help me set up a domain, a website, and I bought hosting. I went out to HostGator. I bought the baby plan because that's all I could afford at that time. And I put up my site there. I installed, I think, simple WordPress. And by the way, that took me ages. Like, I know at that time, 6 years ago, it was all about 5-minute install. And I spent literally 5 days trying to work out how can I do this in 5 minutes. And it didn't work out in the end. So it was
You're
just
the only one. The first couple times I tried to use some of the WordPress and install it, and it was, let's not going to age myself, but let's say more than 5 years ago. And WordPress was a nightmare back then, and plugins were made by like kids in their mom's garage. They were not trustworthy.
No, they were not. And so that's what I did. I mean, I took the easy way out. I put up a page. I didn't even know about protecting the page. I was a kid. I didn't know about protection. But what I did was I just put in some videos on there, and I just said, okay, here's your thank you page. Just go watch it. And I think I made a fair few hundred sales, between 500 to 1,000. I think it was closer to 1,000. And more people actually got it for free than those that bought it. And trust me, as a product creator, there's nothing more disappointing knowing that your content is getting ripped off. Now, don't get me wrong, eventually people will find a way to get your content. I mean, unless you are saving it in professional grade, Swiss Alps somewhere where they just focus on your content, fine, but then it's not worth it. So you're going to find that as you create content, people will find a way to just get it for free. Now, it's okay if it's just a few people, but what you don't want is to lose money because there are thousands of people out there sharing your content on black hat sites. So that's what happened to me the first time. And then I knew that next time I do this, I'm going to do it right. Even if it means I have to spend a lot of money, I'm going to protect my content. Now, that was the first part of what I did. The second thing that I had to do as well, the first time, and then I knew next time I do this, was put up I think I'm getting some echo. Yeah. Okay.
That was me. That's my bad.
It's okay, happens. So the second thing I had to do was put up a sales page. Now, luckily, I should say at that time it was easy because at that time Warrior Forum was a very big thing. So I didn't have to have any kind of page creation platform. I didn't have to have anything. I think at that time, Lead Pages was quite big. And I thought maybe I could go for that. But then Warrior Forum said, hey, you can just put it up here and it'll only cost you $40. And I said, hey, that's pretty easy. I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And I did that and it worked out. The other thing that I should have been doing was building a list. I did not have a pre-launch sequence, so I wasn't collecting any leads, and I got all these 1,000 customers. And even then, I wasn't marketing to them properly because I was using MailChimp. And if you know MailChimp, it's one of the cheapest autoresponders out there. I think it's a good one, but the problem is they don't allow you to do affiliate marketing. In fact, sometimes they don't even allow you to do marketing to your own customers. So if they feel that what you're sending is overly aggressive, they shut you down very quickly. So a lot of newbies who come into, yeah, I mean, that's happened to a lot of people who come and use Kyvio because they say, I was using MailChimp, I was happy for a few months, it was almost free, it was so cheap, but then they shut me down out of nowhere and I couldn't even get my list out of them. And
Wow.
and that's a position you don't want to be in, because what you don't want is for someone else to control your assets, because these are really big companies and they don't really care about, because they have thousands of customers, they don't care about what everyone's up to. I mean, they'll just shut down your account without any communication and you have to fend for yourself. So those were the three key pieces that I needed in my business at that time, but I really didn't have a handle on them back then. Now, over the years, slowly, I did change a few things. For membership sites, I used to use Digital Access Pass, DAP. It's still a good platform, but you got to use it with WordPress, which in my opinion is always open to hacks or attacks or some kinds of threats. I mean, I can't tell you how much money I've spent on just trying to protect my WordPress site. So if they get hacked, just trying to get them fixed. It's a
Well, we
really
found
big
with
problem.
WordPress, when we built our membership on a WordPress based platform, we were never sure if they were getting the right transactional emails. Simple things like passwords, and there was no way for us to step in and ensure that did anything.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. The problem is that a lot of people think that, hey, WordPress is free, so we'll just install it. But the cost of that free is really, really big, because if you're spending days and sometimes weeks just diagnosing which plugin is not working with the other plugin, or which page, suddenly went down because there was a JavaScript error on that. When you have to become an IT expert to run a business where you are selling information, where you are teaching people courses about how to cook something, how to be alive, how to improve your life, then that just takes you away. I mean, you might as well just stop doing what you're doing and just focus on IT. So if dealing with software, dealing with technology is not your job, you shouldn't have to worry about how to configure a site, how to make sure that everything runs smoothly. That's something you should be able to outsource. Now, like I said, I did try to do that. I had one person who was constantly managing my WordPress website. It used to cost me $500 a month. She was from Pakistan. She was good, but it was still, back then quite expensive for me. And I had another person who was taking care of my autoresponder, making sure that everything was clean, that my IP wasn't getting, caught somewhere, stuff like that. So all of this can really end up costing you money and time. And more than just the money and time, to me, there's an opportunity cost to it as well, right? So when you're not creating or when you're not selling, you're not really moving forward. You're kind of just in maintenance mode. You're trying to get stuff to work. And that's where it becomes painful for me. That's where we decided that the one thing that we wanted to do is to help people where they could build their own business. I mean, we at Kyvio say that our business is taking care of your business. And that's absolutely true. Like, what we want to do is make sure that if you have something to share with the world, you can do that without getting overwhelmed with technology. Because again, that's not your role. Maybe that's not something you went out there intending to do. Maybe your goal was, hey, I'm going to change people's life. I'm going to teach them how to cook. I'm going to teach them how to live. And if that's your goal, that's what you should be doing. Everything else is just a distraction, which is why we created Kyvio. Now I'm going to give you a demo. I just want to do a couple of admin things to make sure everything is running smoothly. So Jenna, if you want to just add in a couple of things, I'm just going to make sure people are still coming into the group.
Sure. I'm kind of going through and I'm making sure that I have everyone's questions. So, and that's just one of the big things. If we're going to have Ryan on here for 30 minutes, I want to make sure that everyone's questions get answered. So now that you've gone through day one and picking out a niche, which I will tell you right now, Ryan is a really big fanatic about. If there's any questions around those topics that we've already covered that you didn't get a chance to ask, or you personally want Ryan's opinion on it, go ahead and shoot those over now and put them up in the comment section, just so I can go ahead and ask him. And I'm putting together a list of all the questions so that I can kind of group them together, know exactly who commented, and if I need to give Ryan any feedback, like, oh, they're running this type of membership. Although I will tell you, Saul, I'm totally calling you out for Ryan. Saul and I were chatting after the call yesterday, and he was saying he sends his list up to 8 emails a day.
Wow.
And I know Ryan was, his people get fanatical about getting emails from him. And he has, he implements the machine, the perpetual traffic. And one of the things is there's 2 different sequences that start when you first sign up to his list. One is an indoctrination sequence. Whitelist my emails. Here's the best of some segmentation type links to figure out what people like. But then you also get a separate automation that's all about what you actually downloaded. So if you downloaded his 212 blog post ideas, then you're going to get a series of 7 different emails that have to do with that. So people were getting 2 emails a day. And on top of that, one of the things that they kind of discovered as they got more into their membership sites is that people have multiple email addresses, which is crazy. And so, well, not crazy because I have multiple emails, but there's the complete spam email address that people will opt into something for. There's their good personal email address that they're going to get it and they're going to pay more attention to it, but you're not into a premium account yet. And once you get the premium work email address, the one that they are religiously keeping it tight knit, and it's not on the internet, it's not in high release. So not only would they get mad that they sent 2 emails, but then on top of that, people would come back and be like, oh, I got 8. Why would you send me 8 emails in a day? And 5 of these are for products I already have. And they're just we have 8 email addresses for you. So can we narrow that down? And on the back end, that doesn't work for them because most of the email autoresponders, the CRMs, how much you have to pay for them is purely based on how many contacts you have. So if you have 8 per person and you have, let's say, 30,000 members, then you end up paying, extreme enterprise level fees for your CRM and email autoresponders just because people each have several different email addresses they use. So I've got a lot of questions starting to come in. All right, cool.
I want to answer a few as well, because just to quickly go to, I think it was Wolfgang who said, what about courses and niches that are questionable, like medical marijuana? It really depends. If you want to publish a medical marijuana, for example, on Kyvio, I got no problem with that, because, hey, if you're trying to help people, I'm perfectly cool with that. I go to Amsterdam once in a while. I like it. So yeah, I'm okay with that. And I think someone else was asking, what SMTP do you recommend? We stick with SendGrid because SendGrid works really well. It just, their quality is generally very good. So we just like it because they're quite responsive. And if something goes wrong, they can quickly jump on and support and help you out as well. So those are a couple of useful things to know.
And I think Ralph asked, specific to the Kyvio platform, do they have video posting scheme within the membership section? If I think the question right, can you put videos in your membership? Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we still use Vimeo to upload our videos because we use Vimeo Pro, which is, I think we got it at $199 a year or something, and it just keeps all our videos as closed as it can. And beyond that, there's no cost to it. So that way, it's a pretty good system to upload and keep your videos. So any protected video we want, we put it up on Vimeo. Anything we want to share with the public, we put it up on YouTube as a public video, because that's good for organic reach as well.
And the other thing that's nice about Vimeo, so we still use predominantly YouTube, and I'm okay with that at this point, but you also get at the end of every YouTube video, you have it'll start showing other different videos that may not have anything to do with your site. So I don't want to ask anybody to go spend a whole bunch of money on video hosting. And I can tell you right now, Ryan uses Wistia, which we looked it up, and the price point, I was like, yeah, no.
It's very expensive. It is good, but very expensive. Exactly. Now, Christina, I just want to go to what Christina's saying as well. What I was talking about earlier, Christina said, Bo, wow, you're so talking to me, Neil. Thank you. As an entrepreneur, I have so much to share and teach, but I know sometimes technology holds me back. So again, I've been there talking to people who are visionaries in their own right, but just that they can't check the email, or they don't want to use WordPress, they don't like using WordPress. And these sorts of things shouldn't hold you back. And I mean, it's your responsibility to share your gift, share what you know with the world. So these sorts of things should not hold you back. Now, if it's okay, what I want to do is I want to show you how we structure our membership sites. I mean, me and Jenna talked about a membership site structure yesterday, but now I want to show you how basically it all comes together. And then I also want to show you how you need to build out your landing pages to sell the products. And then also, once you have an email list, how to put in sequences, how to do broadcasts to make sure that you continue to make sales even after you've done all the work that you could. That's the important thing as well. What you don't want to do is be in a position where you're spending all the time in front of a computer doing stuff, because that way you're always reactive, you're never proactive. And I want you to be proactive. So let's dive in. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you a few things that have been working really well for us in terms of how we lay out our content, how we structure everything. And then that'll give you some insights into how you can do that for yourself as well in your business. Now, of course, exclusively we use Kyvio for this stuff. I've seen other people who sell, for example, an email marketing platform, and they're using another email marketing platform. In fact, I saw someone launching a funnel builder. I think it was 6 to 8 months ago, and they were running a Facebook ad, and it said, "This is better than ClickFunnels." I clicked on the page, just to check I was doing market research. I clicked on the link, went there, and the page was hosted on ClickFunnels. I mean, and I called them out. I mean, I knew who the person was. I called them out on my timeline. I was like, how can you sell this product and use the other page and then blame that page builder and say, hey, this is not good enough, instead try this? And they said, oh no, but that one's for e-commerce, ClickFunnels for something else. So if you want to, we take our own medicine. The reason I know so much about my platform is because not only that we created it, but I use it every single day. This question gets asked once in a while, and you can ask that from Ryan as well. When you wake up in the morning, what's the one website you log into as the very first thing? For me, it's Kyvio. Why? Because when I wake up, I've got these ideas in my head and I want to start running some split testing, or I want to update my members area with some additional content. So when I wake up in the morning, I know I can quickly go in and do that before those ideas get out of my head. So I'm going to show you what this looks like, and I'm just going to move zoom around. Perfect. So Kyvio, even though we're not advertising all the modules everywhere, Kyvio comes with 6 modules. One of them is Smart Funnels. Then we've got Smart Membership. We've got the Blog Builder, Email Marketing, Affiliate Center, and Support Desk. So Support Desk and the Blog Builder are 2 modules which at the moment we're not developing because we've got so much other stuff to do. Like Steven and the entire development team is working on Kyvio 2.0 to basically redevelop this 1, 2, and 3, and eventually there's 4 modules from scratch. Once those are done, we can go to these 2 as well. So we've been building this, we've been working on this with Susanna. Susanna Theresia was one of our partners back in the day. We eventually bought her out. And this platform has been in development for over 2 years now, and actually 2.5 years, and it's been sold and used for the last 2+ years. So people have been using it since, I think it was beginning of 2016. That's how long it's been in circulation. But I want to show you a few things about how everything fits together, how we do it, and hopefully that will give you some ideas about how you can do it as well. Some of you have Kyvio already, some of you don't. If you don't, or even if you do, I'm going to show you something at the end of it, like we talked about the other day. I'm going to give you an offer. If you think it's a fit, if you think it'll help you double, quadruple your business in the next 6 to 12 months, by all means, jump in and get that. But without further ado, let me go in and show you each and every important critical part that I can show, say, in the next 20 minutes or so of Kyvio. Because remember, Ryan's going to come on at some point as well. And Jenna, you got to remind me, because I think I have Zoom access, or so do you. We have to upgrade Ryan to presenter level as well.
I've never used this, so I don't even know how to do that.
Okay. I can take care of that. So we just, we want to see the list of participants, and hopefully Ryan joins in as an attendee, and then I can just right click and upgrade him as a presenter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
So I just want to be sure that we know when he comes in. Otherwise, he's just listening. Hey, this is pretty cool. I'll just wait for my turn. I don't know. I guess he's very polite or something. So
I will message his executive assistant now.
Sure. Just to be sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at, first of all, the membership side of things. Now, I did show you this membership dashboard, and I'll give you a bit of warning here. I'm not the best designer. You should see membership sites, dashboards that other people have created. I think, Jenna, I've seen yours as well, and your landing pages look so much better than mine do, because you've just worked so hard on them to make sure that they look good. But this is us.
I get
right?
called out if mine aren't beautiful.
Fair enough. Luckily for me, I mean, I tell people, hey, listen, I'm lazy. I just want to focus on content. I don't have time to do the graphics. Maybe I'll give it to my team. Maybe they'll get it done, but at least I'll give you all the content that you need. But you're right. If you're selling something at $997 or over, you want to have really beautiful looking graphics everywhere. You want something to look like it's worth it. Most of the training that I do, I like to keep it at a low price because, again, my goal most of the time is to offer people a lot of value for a very small price, just to get them started, just to get them moving, take that first step. So here's how we do that. Within the membership module, you've got an easy option, easy choice to create a new product. So you can edit some of the old ones that you have, or you can create a new one. In this case, I'm going to just go ahead and create a new one. So let's say we were selling this 5-day training series package together, and we would call it My First 1,000 5-Day Live, right? I can put in some description. I can choose what currency I want to use, in this case, USD, euros, or there are a few other currencies that are available here by default, depending again what the system provides and what you can use with your country as well. And then you can select the sales page if you've already created one. If not, you can always come back to this later and pick a sales page. You can also pick then a thank you page. So when people buy, where do they go to? And in this case, thank you page can be a custom page, because if you want to build a funnel where you sell one thing and then the other and then the other, then having this as a custom thank you page is a pretty good deal. And you can allow members to see how they're progressing to the course. And you can also show them quizzes if you want to show them quizzes. Now, this is one thing that Steven's working on restructuring, redeveloping, and it's going to have a lot more gamification in it moving forward, a lot more intuitiveness in terms of how the end users perceive the course when they're going through that. So you're going to see a lot more changes there if you already have it. And if you don't, if you come back later, you're going to see more changes with a higher price tag. I can tell you that much. But here's the thing. Once you're done just filling in the basic details, then what you want to do next is connect one of the payment options that you have already integrated with. We have a few different ones. So we have PayPal, for example. We use Zaxa sometimes. We use Stripe as well. Sometimes we've used Stripe card just to check how it works. So I'm just going to pick, let's say, 3 of these, and I'm going to click next. And I'm going to pick a price level. So remember yesterday or day before when we ran the calculator, it came out with a price level of $680. But I'm going to discount that to, say, $297. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a price and say one-time piece, and I'm going to call it, say, just going to put it down at $297. If I want to add another price point, I can do that as well. But once I'm done with it, I'm just going to go ahead and save the product right over here, or rather create the product in this case. And then let's go back in and start adding in content to that, get our buy buttons and whatnot. So I'll go back in. And now I'll just jump straight to step 4, actions, which is where when someone buys the product, I can add them to an email list. I can put them in a GoToWebinar or EverWebinar, whatever other webinar platform you have. I can tag them as well. And tags are going to be really useful moving forward, because you can even email them based on what products they have or have not purchased from you in past. And then I have the buy button link. So when you see right here, you've got the buy button link that you can put on your sales page, and when someone clicks on it, they can go ahead and buy that product. So I'm just going to go back and set it up as active, because it doesn't automatically activate. So let's go ahead and activate it. And once that is done, I'm going to go ahead, go to price levels, and show you, for example, this. So this is the PayPal integration. So when someone goes to this button, when someone clicks on this button, they can now go ahead and pay directly via PayPal. So they can sign in and they can pay via PayPal. And when they have paid, they get access to all the content that I'm giving access to. And setting up content is easy. You come in here, you can add as many modules as you want. So let's say this one I just call simply module 1. I want to call this my first niche, as we did the other day. And as I told you before, I'm going to take my training, that 1.5 hour training we did with Jenna, I'm going to chop it up into smaller pieces, maybe even break it down into 2 modules, but at least start adding all the lessons here. So let's say if I click on add content, I want to add another one. I could have lesson 1 right here. Let's go ahead and add another one here. Okay, I could have lesson 1, which is step 1, lesson 2, step 2. And if I want to edit the actual content, I can click on this button over here, and then I can go in and drag and drop a video if I want to. I can drag and drop some text. I can change this description. Earlier you saw that description. I can change it here as well. I can put some buttons as well. And I usually find when I'm structuring a course, especially if it's a lower ticket course, as I talked about the other day, when you come to the end, it's okay to pitch something else that you have. When you come to the end, it's okay to suggest, hey, if you like this, then you also might want to check this out. So once I do all of that, I'm just gonna, like a cook on a cooking program, I'm gonna jump straight into a product and show you what that product looks like at the end of the day. So this one, let me go back in, and I'm just gonna make sure I can log in. So let's exit here. Okay. So let me jump back here, and I'm gonna go to membership products, and I will jump into, I think I like the 21-day recurring machine. Oh, by the way, that's a really, again, I think I had talked about that the other day. It's a good product because it teaches people how to build a recurring membership site, kind of similar to what we're discussing here, but it goes into depth and shows certain things there as well that people can implement and execute at their own pace. So let's go to 21-day recurring machine. There you can see that's the entire course. We had some bonus workshop in the beginning as well. These are all the modules that are listed. And if someone wants to access a module, they can go in, click on access module, click on one of the lessons that they want to access. And here on the left hand side, they've got the entire menu with some videos right over here that they can access. And they can also save their notes here. And you can choose to not show this if you don't want to with some custom CSS, but it always helps me to see how customers are perceiving the content that I'm putting out there, how they're consuming it. If I don't see any notes, most likely no one's consuming it, or they're not compelled to put any notes next to the content in this case. So all this allows me to create an immersive experience, an interactive experience that people can use to gain the knowledge, gain the education that I'm sharing with them, that I'm giving to them. But like I said, that's the first step. That's the simplest thing, in fact, I think you can do is just uploading videos, say, on YouTube, and then bringing them all together under one roof into Kyvio. Because
Hey,
once you're done with that, yeah.
Sorry, I had a question. Christina was asking, what autoresponder do you use to integrate with all that?
So Christina, I use SendGrid. So what I tend to do is I rely on, so we also have our own, as in we built our own, we bought out spot servers and we built our own. But the challenge with building your own is that you always have to upkeep it. You have to make sure all the IPs stay clean and whatnot. I tend to use SendGrid because I think they're really affordable for what they do. And they're okay with you sending out marketing emails. Like they don't restrict you. So if you just go to SendGrid and just check out their pricing, I think for basic price of $10, you can send about 10,000 emails, which is more than enough when you're just starting out. And $10 a month is nothing. So for that, all you would have to do is come into Kyvio, for example, click on this button, click on here, and let me just move this around. Go to integrations and connect it up with, say, SendGrid or any other autoresponder that you want to connect with. If you are still stuck with the likes of GetResponse or Aweber, I don't know who is anymore, but if you are stuck with that, you can also connect with that. So any lead that you generate goes straight into GetResponse or Aweber. That's okay as well. But again, what you can do in terms of then targeting later on within Kyvio, the possibilities for you will go down. We have built this ecosystem of sorts where everything that you need to run a business is under one roof. Because I found this a problem in my business. If I was running something, if I was running, let's say, a membership course, and I had to build out my sales pages somewhere, membership site somewhere else, and then pay $100 a month minimum to an autoresponder, and then pay 5% to a platform for affiliate recruitment and management, I was just throwing a lot of money away for nothing. Which is why we decided to bring everything we could that we knew would perhaps fulfill 80% of your business needs. We decided to create them into Kyvio. Does that answer your question? I know I probably went a bit over.
And then we had a couple of others. Regis wanted to know if you can add PDF or images to the downloads and the lessons.
Sure.
Somebody said no, but I've done them through links. In fact, that's how I did all of the PDFs that we've been using.
Yeah, exactly. You definitely can do that. So all you need to do is click on this edit button for whatever lesson you are looking to edit. And I'm not going to save the changes now because, this is a live course. But then once you have that, let's go into bonus checklist. I'm not sure what's up with that video, but see, this is all the text content that I have put in here, right? Just like easy to digest. But if I want to edit some, put in some more content as well, let's go back. I think I should stay within this content piece when I'm there. Just a second. Okay, when I want to add something else, I can just go ahead and pick one of these other things. I mean, some of these are spacing elements, but let's say this one is a button. So I could drag and drop the button over here, and I could change the button name. So I could say download your PDF here, and I could put the target URL. So when people click on it, the PDF opens up in a new tab, right? So just click that, and the PDF will open up in a new tab or a new window, depending on what browser they're using. So yes, if you have something additional, checklist, worksheets to give away, you can give away all of those within this membership as well.
Let's see. What was the mail server you use again? To say it again.
It was SendGrid, SENDGRID.
And then I know we use Active Campaign, so it integrates with Facebook easily. And then what do you use for webinars? Because today's platforms are too expensive, and that's from Martin Garcia.
Martin, they are definitely. So previously we used to rely quite a bit on YouTube Hangouts. They were quite nice. I've always used GoToWebinar because of the fact that there's no delay, there's no lag. I can tell you, I've tested it. Zoom has about 11 seconds of lag on a bad day. YouTube Hangouts, when the way we did it, had about 3 seconds of lag. GoToWebinar, close to 0. I mean, still like 1 second, but close to 0. But honestly, that's the best you're going to get. Right? I like Zoom the way we're using it now because it lets me stream into a Facebook group as well. It lets me stream on a fan page if I want to. So that way, the barrier to usage is really low. It's easy to kind of use these technologies.
And then we had, I'm going to call it a tip from Michael Pauly, that there's a limited lifetime deal for VooPlayer on AppSumo right now if you're looking for hosting.
Yeah, VooPlayer is something actually we're experimenting right now with as well for, I'm not going to reveal this just yet because if you log into Kyvio, I think Steven's kind of setting it up at the moment. If you log into Kyvio, you're going to see an implementation of VooPlayer, which is, I find is very unique. Even those guys didn't know that they could do that with the software. So it's a good platform. I mean, I would recommend, yeah, if you want to go for something, if you want to save money, go for VooPlayer. It's a good option. I just like to use Vimeo because I've been using it for a while, and it just works. So that's what I would say. But let's get back into Kyvio for a second, because what I've done is more or less step 1 of my, my sales process. Step 2 is building up funnels. It's basically making sure that when you have something to sell, you can put your message out there in an easy to understand format, so you can explain it to people what it is and why they should get in. So I don't know if you saw this, but I want to show you myfirst1000.com right over here. And then I also want to show you myfirst1000.com/join the movement. And I hope you did see both of these pages, but if not, well, I'll show you them now. So both of these pages have been created inside of Kyvio, right? Even the Kyvio's homepage has been made within Kyvio. So even though it's a funnel builder, it doubles up as a website builder if that's what you want from it. When I say website builder, I'm talking about things that are like this. I mean, it's like a one-page website, and it just scrolls, right? So if I just jump on over to Kyvio homepage, you're going to see that as well. If I, click on some of the menu buttons, some internet issue. If I click on some of the menu buttons, you will see that they go either to different pages. Sometimes they just scroll down. So you can do both those things with Kyvio Funnel Builder. And
hey, can I share my screen here?
Sure, go ahead.
So
I think you have better designs, so. Yeah.
So he is showing you his, and that's great. I saw the button where you could do the video behind, but you kept yours pretty plain. So we spent a lot of time coming in here trying to create kind of like a template for all future, it's an agency page. But as you can see, this is a complete website you don't need. And I know Rayanne Kane, we're going to be implementing hers this coming week as well. But we have all the navigation up here if you want to keep navigation. I've had my web guy come in here and do a couple little edits to make, things move around and change. But you can do all sorts of different things. We've got the clever timer. There was a time no kidding, I paid for software on top of all the other stuff I had just for that timer. But you can come in here and put all the images. You can structure them in different ways. As you can see, we have like a full, I can't remember the word right now that it uses, but we have full section from side to side. This technically has 2 sections over here, and then breaking it up with a long one. Co-columns over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns right here, mixing it with 1 so that you can do like that as seen as. Breaking it up, just all the different pieces that you would normally include. I've got a video that plays right here. Thankfully the sound's down or it's really loud. All the different little pieces. Now this was a trick my web designer used using one of those, like, I don't know, it's actually a font. Those aren't images. But all this is done inside of the Kyvio platform, and it surprisingly did not take me long. I like it tremendously better if anybody's building websites, like on Visual Builder. We used to do ours on Optimized Press as well. Took us a while to love my pricing here, but once we got it down, I love the ability to keep everything exactly the same. I don't like when these are not the same. Offering everything we do. And so this is kind of what you're looking at is our template, with the idea being that it's very easy to set up and copy inside of Kyvio the different funnels. So we can have one product, completely set it up the way we want it, the colors, the fonts, the stories, everything, and then turn around and copy it instantaneously. And remember, we were talking about niches, and everyone's like, but I can serve everyone. I can turn around and take that base funnel, copy it over, and instantly just do a couple edits and make it just for attorneys. And all the wordings are there, the images are there. I just need to, make it a little bit more boring because that's what attorneys do. And I can instantly sell now web pages for attorneys. I can make sure my testimonials are attorney specific. And then I can turn around and copy it again and make it, somebody was talking about, questionable services. I have several head shops as clients, but you can copy it over there and I can just change the sales page and still have it directing to the same thank you page, which has been really nice.
It does help. I mean, templatizing your work, making sure that you have one core template, of an entire funnel that you can use over and over again, makes it easy to just systemize the work and streamline it. So that way you don't have to worry about redoing the entire work from scratch again. So that's something, again, since we started talking to Jenna, I've been looking at how she's been using Kyvio. I've been really impressed, and those are some things I will bring into our company as well. So my designers don't start from scratch every time, because of course that wastes resources. So that's one thing. But what I want to do now is, again, go back to sharing my screen and actually show you inside the email module as well. Because remember what I said, we actually eat our own medicine, which means we actually use our own platform every single day. So every single day, you'll see some numbers here, by the way. Please don't share this with someone else. This is, proprietary information, but we've got a lot of subscribers on our lists, and we send out sequences, we send out broadcasts. And again, it's as simple as integrating with, say, something like SendGrid, and then just making sure that everything that you do continues to get delivered to people. And I mean, of course, there your messaging needs to be on point, right? That's a given. But you also want to make sure that you engage with people in a way that they will appreciate. So in our case, for example, what I tend to do is, for anyone who buys one of my membership sites, I put them on a different list specific to the membership site, and then, or rather a course, and then I deliver them value based on what they bought. So I usually have sequences. Let me show you that as well. So I usually have sequences which make sure that everyone, when someone buys something, they get put into a different list, and that way they get email specific to what they have bought, say at least for the next 2 weeks or so. And a lot of other cool things that we're doing here as well. One of the things that actually I think you might like to, let me go into List Manager, and I think I can show it to you here. Create segment. Yeah, no, wait. Yeah, create segment's quite good, right? So what I want to do sometimes is, as you know, if you use SendGrid or any other SMTP, your cost will go up if you continue mailing everyone, even if they're not opening your emails. So what I tend to do is I use segmentation. So I use segmentation to find my best set of users, people who are opening my emails in the last 30 days, people who've been clicking on my emails for the last 60 days. And when I'm sending, let's say, a time-sensitive email, or an email that I know is going to convert really well, but I don't want to just give it to everyone, I will send it to only this audience. That way, I get to keep my focus on the people who continue to read my messages. Because, like I said, it's a waste of money if you're mailing people who are not opening your emails. And at the same time, your IP reputation will go down, and your ISP will think that, hey, you're doing a terrible job with your email marketing. Let's put you on a bad pool where your emails will not even get those opens you were getting before. So it's something that we've been working on all this time to make sure that when we mail people out, we mail out only the most active ones, because that way, even if it's a smaller segment, at least that is the most active segment, and they will get the best ROI as well. Jenna, what do you think? I know you use Active Campaign. I know it's far more automated, but I know it's also expensive, right?
No, I mean, obviously the word expensive, I feel, is a very relative term, right? Mm-hmm. Especially sometimes I have to remember, what I consider inexpensive, even here in Dallas. I went on a cruise last year and somebody was complaining about, the drinks for $10 a piece. And I was like, I know, isn't it great? We're just used to a higher thing. So I'm over here for monthly. It starts at 15 for the lower level, but the lower level will do Facebook integrations in and out of Facebook ad campaigns. And then for full CRM, obviously $70 a month, but that's getting into big boy systems and more complications, and the ability to send text messages. So, I mean, it's my baby. Let's see if I can open it up. No, I won't do that because we're kind of running out of time. And I know we wanted to show some of the things that we were going to be offering, but the other thing is it has the ability, and I'll even get into it a little bit when we get into the offer, is I can take a complete funnel that I've built with emails and everything with the words, and I can take a link and just copy it over to a client. And all of a sudden my entire funnel email structure with goals and Facebook audiences is immediately imported in their account. And now we just have to go in and change the wording a little bit.
Interesting. So here's the thing, Jenna, and just to circle back to showing what we have today, I'm happy to come back and do some more demo after we talk to Ryan. But I think I really want to show people what we have today, because it is something that I know you and I have been going back and forth about for quite some time now. And I really think it'll help a lot of people who are on this session today.
Very cool. Well, I will say this, since I'm going to go over to slides, it inhibits how much I can actually see on my screen. So if there's any questions, if you could just do me a favor and pass them over, that'd be great.
Sure, I'll do that.
All right. Now, do y'all see the whole slide deck?
Yes, I do.
View, show, slide, single page. Hey, it's kind of close.
Perfect. It's a PDF, so.
Okay, so if everyone, I'm hoping you can see, I'll just take Neil's word for it here. I feel like I should have minimized Zoom. That's sort of it. Tools, show inspector. I should know how to use this better. Oh, found it. Enter full screen.
Awesome. I'll keep an eye out for Ryan in case he shows up in the middle of this. So.
All right, very cool. So I just kind of wanted to wrap back around to the very beginning and just ask and see if anybody, like, how they're feeling about creating their first online course. It's been really nice to see everyone jumping through. Here, I've kind of taken a couple of screenshots, I'm so terrible with names, Alejandro, talking about finishing up parts of the worksheets and how powerful they were, even though he's been in business for a while, going back and doing the basics. But just let me know in the comments if y'all are excited now to finally create your course and get it launched the right way. I'd love to hear that feedback. It was great seeing Gazelle do all those worksheets. And I was like, yes! That is so exciting. But today we kind of wanted to offer you something, I don't want to say new. One of the issues that we ran into when we got into Kyvio was, one, there wasn't, unlike some of the other platforms, there's not a whole database of how-to videos, how to do this, how to do this. There were the basics, the ones that you need to get through. And we also found this with Ryan Dice's digital marketer lab. Don't tell him I said this, but it's really hard to understand where to start. When you get into these new platforms, technology is not your friend. You don't even know necessarily the business model, maybe, or you've heard pieces. It's very hard to know where to start, what to do first, and how to go to make sure that you're as successful as, you know, other people prior to you have been. So the thing that Neil and myself and Steven, I've had input from Ryan Dice, from Marcus Murphy there at Digital Marketer, and several others that I'll kind of talk to about the way, but we wanted to put together of how to actually build the comprehensive, fully loaded membership site. So not just your content, but the full funnel, the full emails, the full social, the full traffic, everything you actually need to sell the course. Because here's the bottom line. I could build you the most kick butt system, and I've done this for several $1,000s for several clients. And then what happens is they complain because they're like, I'm not selling anything. I'm like, yeah, you didn't turn on the traffic or do what I told you to do. So we're going to go through and just kind of show you, we put together this Membership Growth Institute to take away all that overwhelm, to help you take that one-on-one help that you've been providing people. And to be honest, I don't know about you, but I offer so much free content and information to people on phone calls and just consulting. They bring me coffee to take that one-on-one work though and bring it to a larger audience. And how we kind of formatted this down to is we wanted to, you know, we talked about breaking it down into 3, give you all the training you needed to get this done, give you access to a community that's going to include Neil and myself, as well the entire Kyvio team, to help you actually get it done, to make sure that you know how to do any of the tech, so that you know the strategy behind all the different pieces, as well as making sure that you can turn around and go to traffic and conversion. We've talked about that a lot this week, but that you can go there and learn how to optimize it and really scale it like on steroids. And then the accountability with the whole team of Kyvians, like throughout the course that I'm going to be discussing in a moment. At the end of each video, I'm like, and, you know, go over and post what you're doing inside of the group, because you're now one of us. You are a Kyvian, and Neil and I are going to be holding you accountable. We're going to be terrible. And you can ask Neil, I'm not nice. I'm going to make sure I ask lots of questions like those, why? And kind of how we got here today is I wanted to know, and I actually would like to hear your live question, your live answers to this, but why are you here today? Neil and Steven had you, you know, that was one of the first questions they asked you was, what would an extra $1,000 a month mean to you? And some of your answers were just a nice reminder, you know, as somebody who's been making well over 5 figures a month now, you kind of sometimes lose touch at what $1,000 can mean to somebody. But I've loved hearing everything. I want to hear, for those of you who didn't get a chance to post that answer in the group, I'd love to hear that. One of the common ones that I do get though is they're tired of trading time for dollars. They've hit their max capacity. One of our principal partners for our membership, you know, is really good at sitting down with people, walking them through the vision challenge. And that takes a lot of time though. I think the first time I met him, we sat down for 3 hours, and that's absolutely not scalable. And depending on how much you're charging for your hours, that hits the max capacity. So for some of the coaches I reached out to, you know, in therapy and stuff like that, you're maxed out because the competition kind of sets a price for you, and you don't want to completely go outside of that. So how do you, if you have every single bit, 40 hours a week booked, not counting the marketing, not counting the business, not counting all of that, how do you scale that? I mean, my husband as an attorney tells me all the time, there's no way I can scale. And I'm like, you're just not thinking outside the box, John. It can be scaled. I would promise you, if you take a look at all the different people you help, there are certain questions you get over and over and over again, and you can put that content and stop trading your time for dollars by putting it in a membership site and selling it to everyone. That way, when they come to you for a question, it's going to be a new question. The other one we get a lot is that you love the idea of teaching the content, and you've been so passionate about it for so long, and it's that tech stack that just scares the death out of you. Like, you're like, I can't program. Like, these guys are talking about, somebody in the comments was like, oh, you can add all the CSS code you want to make it look like whatever you want. I'm like, dude, you just lost like 90% minimum of the audience. I don't even like messing with CSS. I call my web designer for that. So I really want to be able to help as many people as possible be able to take the content they know, to take the lessons and the life experiences they know, and be able to share them with a greater audience. And the other one that I get is that you're finally at the point where you're determined to get your course 100% done and completed. Now, this is a big one, especially for people who are they've been trying to do membership sites for a while, and they've never been quite able to get it done. And they put all these superficial mountains in their way. And so we wanted to create a process that would help get you through all of these mountains and molehills. So are you guys ready to implement and actually build a membership site? I'm actually going to see, no, you know what? I'm not going to mess with that. I was going to say, I'm going to go look at your answers, but I'm not going to touch that. I will let Neil handle that and let him comment on the sidebar for that.
And so, I think I want to say yes myself, because just going through these sessions with you today, Jenna, has been awesome, because looking at the worksheets, it just really makes life easy. So yes, from me.
There we go. So introducing the Membership Growth Institute that we have been working the last 3 months to bring you. The key to building and growing your next $1,000 per month membership site. That is the goal. I gave you that SMART goal worksheet. Obviously, you're $1,000. I want you to put a bigger number on there, but we're going to bring you all aspects. And there's Giselle. That's all of her worksheets done. I'm so proud. I might actually have to go post that at the DM lab so that everyone can see it. But this is going to be a 30-day membership, 0 to hero course. We want to make sure that you get your course built and ready to launch in 30 days, period, dot, no excuses, no molehills. No, I didn't have time. Get off Facebook, but not this week. But actually walk you through each individual piece that you need to build to launch. And for those that already have some framework, it might even take you less time. For those who want to pre-launch, you have like a really big set of content that you're looking to build, getting you to the point where you have an entry point offer available so you can get some money in the door and go ahead and pre-launch, pre-sell it. And I can't even imagine, like I've spent 3 months recording all these, writing the content, building the worksheets. I didn't even really get into the imaging. Even some of the worksheets, I still have to mark up to make sure they're ready to go. But comprehensive 30-day membership launch course to make sure that you are going. And it's not like, here's a course, here's some content, you're all by yourself. Neil and Steven, everyone at Kyvio and I are going to be in this group every single day. If you don't understand something, I know at least I'm jumping on and I'm going to make a screen share, a video. We'll do some Facebook Lives. We're going to make sure you actually get this stuff built. And this is going to include, so here's kind of a rundown, and Neil was kind enough to break it down kind of into 4 sections. And you can see day by day, none of the research is all up front. None of the building is all second. It's kind of intertwined, because we wanted to make sure we got you a quick win to start building that list that Neil said was so important. And it is to the ability to email a list. It's not that even that much. It's the ability to get them on Facebook Messenger, subscriptions, the ability to get them on LinkedIn, the ability to give them advertisements on Facebook. There's just so many components that we wanted to give you that quick win, build the minimum viable product, get it going, and then start the other stuff, and then just start growing it with lots of traffic throughout. And as you can see on those final days, those profit maximizers that are just going to push it through the roof. And obviously you cannot grow to $1 million in 1 month. That's not going to happen. Let's please be realistic. But the ability to build something that can build you $1,000 and honestly a lot more in recurring revenue, if done right in 60 days, is a very real prospect. The other thing that you're going to get, I'll let Neil jump on real quick, is accountability and motivation hours. Do I still have you, Neil?
Yeah, you do. So here's the thing. I have worked with people in the past where they come in on day 1 and they're like, Neil, I'm really excited. I'm going to do this. But they don't, because after day 1, the motivation wears out, the enthusiasm wears out, they lose their why. And I think most of the time the challenge there is they don't have anyone to talk to about it. They don't have anyone who was there in the beginning and who will be there in the end when they've hit that goal and they're ready to scale up. So what I have done basically is I've blocked out an entire day. I blocked out 10 hours of my day every Wednesday. And what you can do is you can get my calendar link from my team when you get this. And whenever you want, every Wednesday, I'm available for a call, half an hour or more if you need. Just click a button, schedule a call with me, and I'll be happy to motivate you. If that's what it takes, I'll be happy to tell you the next steps, and I'll be happy to just guide you where you should be going. So that's all part of my accountability offer to you. You get minimum half an hour, maximum hour-long call every week from me every single Wednesday.
Absolutely. And I'm not going to be that generous because I'm going to be working hard on the back end of this offer, but I will be doing the same inside of the group using Facebook Live and some screen shares. So in addition to that, one of the big aspects, I'm not going to lie, I really wanted Ryan to participate, and offering traffic and conversion tickets was one way to secure that spot. I was really honest with Neil about that, and I don't want to confuse anyone, but I really wanted him here. But it's also was game changing in our business when we were able to go, and people, like, I didn't know anybody. And as I mentioned, I'm actually an introvert. I'm in this large 2,000 square foot office, and right now, actually, I'm alone, and I love that. And going to traffic and conversion with thousands and thousands of people at a complete maxed out hotel was overwhelming. And perfect strangers would come up and say hi to me and get to know me. And I remember one even shaking my shoulders and be like, if this is your goal, Jenna, this is easy. And he just sat there right there and mapped it out for me. It was crazy. To kind of show you some of these speakers. And at this point, these people aren't just speakers to me. These are actually my mentors. And I'm not even going to begin to tell you, let's just say the numbers on the page right now are way more than I've paid to have these guys as mentors. Molly Pittman has become the legit pro at Facebook messaging, hired over by ManyChat. Susie Nelson, she's actually not with Digital Marketer anymore. She started as an intern and customer service, built everything around what it takes to build a Facebook group around a membership, and is now hired by Facebook, running their strategic Facebook groups division. Of course, Ryan Dice. Yes.
I think you heard his name. He's here, so should I bring him on?
Sure.
Okay, I think you said Ryan Dice, and I just noticed, hey, Ryan's here as well, so that's perfect. I'm going to bring him on, and hopefully it should be seamless, but you never know. Okay.
Not feeling seamless, Neil.
It never is. I think Ryan is here.
There he goes.
Hey, Ryan, can you hear us all right? We can't hear you. See, technology.
No, you see, what you have to do is you have to click the unmute button. So I want to blame technology, but it turns out it's user error, as is so often the case. So
good to have you here, Ryan.
Yeah, great to be here.
Well, thank you, Ryan, for coming. I had to ask very nicely and go to a bunch of things that he's been asking me to go to.
Yeah, I feel like you didn't ask it that nicely, but yeah.
I said please, and I showed up to a partner training.
You did. No, you did. No, you're one of my favorites, and you know that. So anything I can do to help you out.
I feel like I'm pick on y'all and I'm mean and make y'all do things.
You are very, very mean. This is a true fact.
Neil can attest to that. I'm mean to him too. It's not personal.
Oh yeah, no, I never took it that way.
It does help if I say that to get things done.
Yes, exactly.
Ryan, I guess let you say it because I've talked about it, but let you say about the membership you've built with DM Lab Elite. Your partnership is still kind of like a membership at this point, and even War Room. I got lag.
You got lagged. Yeah, no, I picked up everything you said. No, I mean, what's funny is literally every business pretty much I've ever launched has had some membership component to it. This goes back to, gosh, probably one of my very first products that I ever launched in the marketing space was called nicheology.com, which was a membership site. So I've always been a big believer in the membership model. And really, and when we launched Digital Marketer as a brand, we knew that membership was going to be at the heart of everything that we've done. But I mean, I have memberships in right now in the survival and preparedness space. We have memberships in the beauty space, in the crafting space. So truly, it is at the heart of absolutely everything that we do. And I believe that I believe it's essential. If you're not selling membership, then you're just selling a product, and congratulations, Amazon is your competitor. Good luck with that.
I've never thought about it that way. It kind of sounds like your idea, Neil.
It does, yeah.
A lot of people were saying their number one concern is traffic. They can create the course, they have the knowledge base, but that's the nothing. It's the traffic. How do y'all deal with traffic concerns?
Well, traffic is easy. You can just buy it. Now, I know that doesn't actually answer the question, but today traffic is more readily available than it has ever been. You can buy it from Facebook. You can buy it from Google. You just go to the traffic store. It's like buying soap. The issue is that it can be difficult to acquire that traffic profitably, right? So there is a real answer to my initial sarcastic response. And the way that you need to do that, especially when it comes to membership, is don't sell membership. So one of the hardest things in the world to sell, while I believe everybody should have a membership model, front-ending membership is sort of like front-ending marriage. It's, hey, you're committed. And if you think about some type of membership or some type of subscription offering, what you're basically saying to somebody is, hi, I know you have this problem. We have the solution, but it's going to take a really long time to really get you fixed. And so you're gonna need to pay us for, every single month for an indeterminate amount of time. That's a tough sell. That's a really, really, really tough sell. Now, the truth is, in almost every situation in life, it's exactly what people need, right? Think about getting in shape, right? It's not, oh, take this magic pill and you lose weight. You're gonna have to join a membership. You're gonna have to hire a personal trainer. You're probably gonna have to pay them monthly. So anything that's really worth doing in life is going to take a while to do. And that's why membership is a great model. And especially if you're involved in community, that's why it's such a good thing. But it's not what people want. So what you need to do when you're going out acquiring, don't look to acquire members, look to acquire initial buyers, initial customers. So in everything that we've done, we always start with kind of a low ticket entry point offer. So with Digital Marketer, we don't front end Digital Marketer Lab. We say, we have this execution plan. We have this certification. It's $7. It's $95. You can sign up for this live workshop that we're doing. Then after somebody's purchased that, and the key is it needs to be a single standalone offering. I'm not saying go to people and say, we have this thing and you can have it for free when you become a member. That's not as effective as just saying you can have this thing. And it's good and it's going to accomplish this one piece of what they want to do. Once you've closed that sale, then it's appropriate to say, all right, now that you have this one thing, you should know it's just one part of this broader ecosystem of products and services that we have. And really, if you want access to everything, I'll give you access to all of it right now. In fact, you can have access to it right now for free as a trial. And that's how you bring members in. It's no different than dating and relationships, right? I mean, you're going to go on some dates. If you want the date, you're probably the one paying for it, no matter if you're male or female. And then eventually you earn the right to ask for more of those. Membership's the same way.
So you've done that. So inside of Digital Marketer Lab, and I think y'all narrowed it down, but it used to have over 60 EPs. Which one, as the portion of the greater Digital Marketer Lab, which one sold the best as the entry point?
Good question. I believe I know our top three. I can give you our top three. In terms of which one is better, I'm not entirely sure. But one of them is on how to do market research. Another one is the $10 a day traffic plan. So it's all just specific to traffic. And the other one is on the content engine, so how to do content marketing effectively. And I think the reason that this works is these are three things that kind of everybody needs depending on the stage of business that they're in. Now, the ones that people consume the most once they get inside the training are not the ones that sell the best on the front end, which is just proof that people don't buy what they need, they buy what they want. So once people get in, they're like, okay, great. I know how to get traffic, but I don't know where to send it. So some of our execution plans on how to craft a landing page that converts, how to create a lead magnet, which nobody will buy on the front end. One of our worst sellers, and Jen, I know it's one that you're familiar with, it's, I think, sitting right behind you right now, is an execution plan that we have on the customer value journey, right? Nobody wants to buy that as a client. No one wants to buy it. They're like, why do I need that? And yet the second that they get in, once you've kind of answered the question, what the big question is, now they say, okay, what do I really need? Where I need to start? And so I like to tell people, you don't earn the right to tell people what they need until you have first answered the question that they have, that lingering question, even if it's a question they shouldn't be asking. You earn the right to tell people what they need when you have given them what they want. So give them what they want and don't judge them for it. You've been in the same place, right? Give them what they want and then say, by the way, now that you have this, I guarantee the next question that you're going to have is, yeah, but where do I send the traffic? And we got something for that too. And you can have it free when you join the membership. So
yep, everyone asks for social, and we actually sell that thing that no one wants to buy for $3,500. So
yeah,
they buy it eventually. So that's kind of the entry point offer. I know you guys also have tested a ton of free lead magnets, and one person is even asking if they should even bother offering anything free. And I was like, yeah, like totally. What have
yeah.
y'all's best performing free offers that had the best, I would say the best entry to getting people in, and also the best long time customer value?
So they correspond exactly to the entry point offers I just said. So
Okay.
we have a lead magnet on Facebook ad templates that as soon as somebody opts in for that, we offer them the execution plan that I just talked about, right? And then we offer them lab. We have a customer avatar worksheet that we give away as a lead magnet that we then upsell, market research execution plan. And then we have our, I forget which one it is. It's a blog post template or blog post ideas,
That
something
was
that we
the one
give
I
away for
came in
free.
on,
Was that
212
the one?
blog post ideas.
Yeah, 212 blog post ideas that goes into Content Engine, which does that. So, and what's funny is it kind of goes both ways. So, oftentimes we'll have a high converting execution plan, and we'll splinter out freebies from that. So we know that this is something that people want. It's still an entry point offer. We know it's something people want. Now let's create a smaller area to it. The other thing that we'll do is if something works really well for free, we'll then turn it into a paid entry point offer. The $10 a day traffic plan, which is an execution plan, that actually began life as a blog post, totally open, a totally open blog post. It got a ton of traffic. We said, let's do a webinar on this. We did a webinar. It had some of the highest webinar registration rates that we had seen. So we said,
Oh, wow.
let's just turn this into an execution plan and start selling it, expand upon it, put in some more examples, start selling it. So your paid should inform your free, and your free should inform your paid.
That's fair. Did you have questions, Neil? I feel like I kind of stole the show.
Wait, did Neil needs to click the mute button too?
I think
Yeah,
when we
you were
added you on, there's a lag.
It wasn't
No,
just
it was
me.
me this time. It was me. It was a human error. So what I was saying, Ryan, was that I appreciate you coming on, and I think some of the things that you're sharing are definitely a revelation for myself and a lot of people who are chiming in. I think they absolutely love it. I'm looking at the comments on my phone. They love the things that you're sharing. And one thing that's come up for me often with membership sites that are recurring is that how do you control the churn? How do you give people enough value month after month so they don't go away to a competition or they just feel like, I don't want to do this anymore?
Yeah, so the reality is, I think that's a good distinction. People generally aren't leaving your membership site to go to a competitor. People are leaving your membership site to go do nothing. Especially when you're talking about some type of information or some type of community. There will be people who will join multiple sources of information. It's not like if I have a CRM, I only have one, right? So software has to deal with churn in a slightly different way than membership and communities do. We tried everything when it comes to churn reduction, and there are really two things that we've seen move the needle more than just about anything else. I'll start off with some things that really didn't move the needle that much that we thought would. One of them was sending gifts, so like welcome gifts and things like that. That can be more effective at higher levels. So if
Sure.
you have a service base, that can be effective. We tried that at scale and it did nothing. But boy, we bought a ton of cookies. We bought a lot of popcorn. We sent a lot of Starbucks gift, and we tried a bunch of stuff, and it didn't matter. People have no problem eating your cookies and canceling your service. They'll do it all day long. I've
Now,
seen
is
them do
that
it.
the same as your box too? Y'all sent like the boxes with like the membership card and the how to use the lab, or is that didn't
Yes.
work out?
That doesn't count as a gift. So I'll talk about that. So the gifts and some of these things, I see a lot of people talking about that. It sounds good. I think that's why people talk about it. And
You talk about it.
it does work. If I were to close somebody, so Jenna, you have some high ticket customers and those types of things. I think it works at that. So if it's a high ticket, I believe it can work. Even a high ticket product, a high ticket service, we've seen it work for that. And now, when I've talked about it for higher ticket. See, she's being mean again. But the two big things that work better than anything else, one is having clear onboarding in place. And so what that means is when somebody becomes a member for the first time, and we were awful at this at Digital Marketer for the longest time, but when somebody is a member, becomes a member for the first time, they need to go through an onboarding process. And sending them some emails is good, but really having video there that they experience as they walk through, having some type of just simple walkthrough, those types of things, because it isn't that they tried it and they didn't like it, they got bored of it, so they left. The problem is they never tried it. So you've got to get them to just start using it, start doing something. So, and kind of a subset of that onboarding is some type of a little victory. You got to get them a quick win. There has to be something that you're building everything around. So for example, at Digital Marketer, we found that if we can get somebody to ask a question in our Facebook group and then they get an answer, they tend to stay for much, much longer. That usually will get us through that initial trial period, right? The people that stay, it is astoundingly rare for somebody who is a trial member to go into our engaged community, ask a question, begin to interact, and still not convert. It's just very rare. So we want to get them in that community. Now compare that to, we want to get them in to and have them consume an execution plan. That would be great if they could do that. And the people that do consume more than one execution plan, they tend to stay pretty much forever. Somebody consumes 2 or more execution plans, they're in it to win it.
That's it?
Yeah, 2 or more. They're pretty much in it to win it. Because once you consume 2, you're generally going to consume more. So, but there's a break point. There's lots of people that consume, just 1, and then they don't go anymore. But once you consume 2, now it starts to become a part. Okay, I need to learn this. But if we try to make it all about consuming an execution plan, it's too hard. It's too much work in the beginning. It's not a little victory. Now I know Jen is like, that's ridiculous. It's no work at all. Again, you're a weirdo cyborg person, which is what makes you amazing, by the way. It's why you're successful. And for a lot of people, it just takes them a while to get there. So that's step 2. Once we've got them interacting, we then shift this stuff over to, let's get them to consume some execution plans. Let's get them on some office hours. Let's get them to take those types of actions. But you need to know, what is that little victory that delivers that aha moment, right? And for us, that aha moment is, oh my gosh, I've been wondering, I've had this question forever. I ask it in this group. I get an answer, great answer from multiple sources in seconds. Holy crap, where's this been my whole life? They're in. They're absolutely in it. And we have people who've been members, active members inside of our community who haven't logged into the actual lab members area in 6+ months, right? Because for them, they're getting so much value from the community. So the first big thing is that carefully choreographed onboarding that includes that little victory aha moment. And the second thing is what I've been alluding to this whole time, which is community. I think to have membership without community, what you probably have is a product or service that you're just offering on some type of a payment plan, because they're not going to stick around for a long time. So you need to figure out how you're going to incorporate community in. That could be actual live community. More times than not, it looks like a Facebook group. And at Digital Marketer, thankfully, we invested early on in community, and I think that made all the difference in the world.
And how do you get them to ask that first question? How do you get them to absorb and do the things you want them to do?
Yeah, so it starts off with the emails that go out. So we're sending emails saying, welcome, we're so glad you're here. By the way, do this first. We're being very deliberate about that. To your point about the new member welcome kit, the welcome kit is all geared around getting them to go in and go into the members area, to the point that we're actually redoing our member welcome kit, because the member welcome kit said, here's all the stuff that you have, and it didn't fully emphasize that aha moment. So we're redoing the welcome kit, a new version of it, and it's almost all about go into the community, ask this question. We want all the emphasis there. The new welcome video. So you wouldn't see this, Jenna, because we can actually send to all of our certified partners. We can send out our onboarding videos. But now when you become a member of Lab, there's an onboarding video that's there. And it's the primary message of the video is get in the Facebook group. It's amazing. Like they log into the members area and we're trying to get them to leave the members area and go to Facebook, right? Because we know that we want them to experience that aha moment. It's that big of a deal. If they can experience that aha moment, then we earn the right. We answer the big question, then we earn the right to encourage them to consume those execution plans. So that's what it's all about.
And finding this aha moment, did it take you a lot of hit and trial to get there in the end, or did you simply do like discovery calls or survey the people that were jumping in and ask them which one, when did your aha moment happen, and what were you doing at that time? And did that give you the insights that you needed?
Yeah, so if I were doing it all over again, I would have done the discovery call that you talked about. I'll tell you what happened. My assumption was that everybody was joining for the content, and that was true. They were joining for the content. They were staying for the community. So believing that they were joining and staying for the content, all of our onboarding was around trying to get them to consume the content, trying to get them to consume the content and get a result. And really it wasn't until we had an event and I was just talking to people, and the theme that kept recurring is over and over again is all they were talking about was the community. And I was like, what about that content we work so hard to produce? The thing that everybody was talking about was the community. And we were seeing it. And so we actually went and we, it took some effort. It took some doing, but we looked at the difference between what is the stick rate after, I think we did over about 9 months. So what's the stick rate? How many people are around 9 months later for the ones who interacted with the community and the ones that never did? And the difference was, I can't remember the numbers offhand, so I don't want to make them up. I mean, the difference was astounding. It was absolutely positively astounding. And then we did a test to see, because at that point you prove correlation, right? We've correlated that people who interact in the community tend to stay longer. Correlation does not equal causation. So now we had to say, let's change our onboarding and make it all about the community. And in doing that, we watched our churn rate just absolutely plummet. I mean, we were at an average monthly churn at, around 10, depending on the level, 10 to 12%, which is high. I mean, that's called, you're basically cycling over your members every 6-7 months. We're now, our churn rates at Digital Marketer Lab look a whole lot like subscription SaaS churn numbers.
Okay.
Because of that community. I don't want to get into what our churn numbers are. Those are some proprietary. I can just give you that's the range. Doing these efforts I've talked about didn't cut them in half. It did way more than that.
Sure. I mean, I can tell everyone that for an actual SaaS that is doing all right, it's about 2 to 5% annually for churn. So not that those are Ryan's numbers, but I would suspect that over time that's where you want to get to as an information product-based membership site as well. But one more question. I know Jen is probably hoping to ask another question, but I'll jump in right now. So Ryan, thinking about your certification program, I mean, it's very, very well structured. And I met Matt Basak recently. And I think Matt's working with maybe the same person who helped on your certification program too. So my question to you is, how pivotal was that for Digital Marketing Lab? Did you always have that, or is it something that came in later because it was much needed?
Yeah, we actually initially launched our certifications outside of Lab. So it was a completely separate, and we began selling them a la carte. And I realized, why am I doing this a la carte? I know that membership and subscription works, so let's have it as a separate membership program. So we had Lab, and then we had HQ, and HQ is all of our certifications. And then what we found is that the two offerings from the outside looking in weren't adequately differentiated. People didn't understand the difference. Like, well, over here, you see there's community and there's these things called execution plans, and like we do some office hours and it's cool. And then over here, it's certification. And the original vision was Lab was for marketer, kind of marketing professionals and individuals, and HQ is more for training marketing teams. What we found is that people who were in HQ, they wanted Lab, and people who were in Lab, they wanted HQ. So we just smacked them together and created a new level of Lab called Lab Plus, creative name, Lab Plus our certifications.
Sure.
We hired a very expensive branding specialist to figure that one out. Not really, we just were like, screw it, let's do this thing. And then later on, we realized people wanted more access to us. They kind of wanted a community within a community. They wanted more live, experiential, kind of facilitated type training. So we're like, how can we do that at scale? That's when Elite was born. And so I would encourage anybody, before you do what I did, which is go out and launch a separate membership site, if it's targeting the same audience, do it an additional level of the same membership. Because what you think you're going to gain, because in the beginning we were like, oh, we don't really want to push these things together because what we're going to basically have to do is, we're going to lose out on the revenue of the people who are in both. And that's true. I mean, we had to, we merged them together and we canceled some subscriptions and went backwards, I think about almost $70,000 in monthly recurring revenue. We got that back the very next month just by having an offer that made freaking sense. So, don't trade having the ability to have these different groups, paying you twice for just having a simplified offering that allows simple ascension within.
I like it. Yeah, go ahead, Jenna. Sorry.
Dennis, I wanted to know, he said that's exactly what he was thinking this morning, but wanted to know if membership is a never-ending journey, or is it like college? Like, how do you kind of structure it? How long is someone going to be there?
My hope is that they stay around as, forever. So it's not like college where there's an end, right? This is a community. I mean, the lab community is just that, a community. So as long as somebody is a digital marketer, we hope they hang around with us, and we're going to continue to serve the community. And that's why I think it's so important. If you're launching membership, you really need to be customer centric. And that's a term that's thrown around a lot. But what I mean by that is you define your business not by the product that you sell or the way that you sell it. So you don't define your business by, we sell this thing, or, we sell this thing in this way. We're a retailer. We're a wholesaler. No, you define your business not by what you sell or the way you sell it. You define your business by who you serve. And so for us, digital marketer serves digital marketers. As long as somebody's a digital marketer, we're going to continue to serve that market. We hope they stick around. We hope they stick around forever. Is that reality? Of course not. But what's been neat to see is we've been around long enough that people have been in our community. They've left for whatever reason. Maybe they joined our community to because they were starting a business or something like that, or maybe they were at a company and the company was paying for it, and they got laid off, or they went to another company, they didn't. But we're beginning to see people who were here and then they left come back to us, and they're excited, like, oh, we're so great, we're so glad that you're still here. So I have no doubt that people will come and people will go, but we're not going anywhere, and we want to just keep serving the community. I think that's the best way to approach membership.
We had another question. This one's from Teresa Oliver, and she is an accountant and bookkeeper. Wanted to know if there are any businesses that you've tried membership on that it did not work out.
We've gotten a little too where it can be difficult. So in consumer spaces, if people don't self-identify as a particular area. So we tried to build a membership around makeup and beauty, and it was difficult to get people to sign up for a premium membership that was around makeup and beauty, where it was primarily information based, because kind of pretty much all women do something with makeup, and a lot of guys do something like makeup and beauty. So it's not like people walk around saying, I'm a makeup-y person, except for the people who are makeup artists. So more times than not, it's going to be easier to, and that's how we pivoted that particular property, right? So there are lots of examples in consumer space. So like the survival and preparedness market, for example, I've got a friend who built a very large community and wound up membership site and wound up actually selling it to NBC Universal in the golf space. And that's very much a consumer property, but people self-identify as a golfer. They didn't necessarily self-identify as a makeup enthusiast, right? So it's been in those areas, same like in the crafting space. Those are some areas where it was difficult, but like in the sewing space, people identify as a sewer. So what I would look at is there a magazine, or was there a magazine associated with that market? Generally, people buy magazines as a way to show and express their identity. So where you're tapping into someone's identity, generally, you can build membership around it. Where it's kind of a passive sort of hobby, it can be a little more difficult to do it. So,
another question, Paula Marie wanted to know is, how often is your content updated?
So digital marketing right now, something in the site is updated at least every week. I can tell you that's not necessary. Generally, if something's happened in there once a month, it's fine. And if you have too much content going in there and you're telling people, oh, we did this and this and this, they'll start to feel guilty. So a lot of it depends on your price point. So if you're kind of that sub $50 price point, you're really at a breakage model. You're more like a gym membership. Gym memberships aren't going to call you if you don't show up for a couple weeks and make you feel guilty. A personal trainer will, right? So if you're an elite member, you better believe we're communicating the heck out of the different stuff we got going on. You know, if we're in an execution cycle, because it's $295 a month, that's a significant investment. If you're a lab member, once a week, we're going to send out an update on here's all the things that happened this week that you might be interested in. Because there's lots of people who join lab. They don't go in, they might not go in for months, but they like that it's there if they need it. So I think that's where you have to decide. Are you kind of selling insurance? Are you selling something that it's you're worth paying for so that people can get it when they need it? Or are you selling something that if they're not using it, they're going to cancel? That's the difference between a consumption model membership and a breakage model membership. I'm not saying you should just ignore them. A lot of people have said, if you're in a breakage model, like sign them up, don't talk to them, don't change anything, hope they forget about it. That's just kind of dishonest. By kind of, I mean, it's totally dishonest. Don't do that. But I will tell you, most people overestimate the amount of updates they need to make. One a month is usually going to be good enough. We like to produce standalone marketable pieces of content every month for our members. So what that means is in creating a new execution plan that we know our lab members are going to love, guess what? We also have something that could be a standalone entry point offer that can bring in more people. So one of the ways to feel good about updating your membership regularly is to make sure that it's something that could be splintered off and sold as that kind of entry point offer that we talked about in the outset.
That one's good. Did you have something, Neil?
Yeah, I've got one, actually two questions, but I will ask the one I want to really ask, which is, you know, Ryan, you've got a really big team now. I think Jenna mentioned you've got over 120 people. So what's the one position that you really held on to for the longest that you just didn't want to outsource?
Yeah, so I mean, to be clear, we're 120 people across all of our portfolio companies. Digital marketers, about 50. So I just want to make sure to put that into perspective. So the one that really the one that I have held on to recently that I've let go of in the past is CEO. And it can be very, very, very common, I've found, for entrepreneurs who as they grow, they think themselves, I don't want to have to deal with all this marketing stuff. I just want to do the product. Or if they love marketing, I just want to do marketing, and I want to bring somebody in to run the company to do all the stuff that I don't want to do. That's one of the best ways, and I've tried this a couple of times, and it's always failed. If you really hate operations, then you can bring in an operations manager to help do that, but make sure they report to you, and don't be intimidated by that. Look, you're building a company. Yeah, there are people who are better at accounting and finance and some of the other aspects, but you shouldn't think that that you're less valuable because they're better at the business stuff. The last thing that I always give up as well is that turn loose of is marketing, because that's what I'm good at. But I wouldn't want to say now today, for example, a digital marketer, I do almost none of the marketing. We have a dream, and the folks who are in marketing positions for the role that they do within that position, they're better than I am at the thing they do. I like to think I'm probably still better overall, although that may be debatable at this point. But I do think you have to identify, you know, what is your secret sauce? What's the thing that you do that's getting you this success? And usually it's going to come in the form of marketing, sales, or some type of product. That's kind of, and so that's going to be one of the last things that you're going to want to give away. But it doesn't mean that you don't get support still in that area. Just don't say, I love the product, or I love sales, or I love marketing. I want somebody to come in and run my entire company. Do that when you sell it. All right, don't do that at the outset. Bring in support people. It's your company. Continue to run it. Continue to be responsible for it. Learn how to read, you know, financial sheets. Like learn what a P&L is and a balance sheet and all, you know, statement of cash flows. Like all these things that you think you shouldn't have to know because I'm just an entrepreneur. I'm the marketing person. I'm the product person. No, screw that. You're a business owner. You know, you got to figure that stuff out.
Thank you. Jenna, I'll pass it back to you.
We had another question from Christina. Question for Ryan. So for digital marketer membership, how do you grow your audience and decide what content and courses you need to give your members? Do you do your own market research, beta groups, or how do you do that aspect?
Yeah, no, most of the content ideas come from our members asking questions within the community. So a lot of times we see people asking stuff, and that's again why community is so critical. So they're asking questions, they're having discussions, and they'll say, hey, is there anything in Digital Marketer about this? And we go either, yep, here it is, or crap, no, but there will be soon. And so for us, content begins life, premium content begins life usually as an office hours, because that can be done quickly. So for example, if something big happens, if there's a major change, we can gather whoever we need to gather, whether it's somebody within the company or somebody, one of our faculty members outside of the company, say, hey, can you be on an office hours call this Thursday? Because we do that every single week. Now, that office hour call, if it's well attended, we will then look to work with whoever the person is that did it. Our content team will to turn that into an execution plan, to turn that into a training, into a product. And that process can happen in as little as 2 weeks. But if it turns out that it wasn't as big a deal as we thought, then maybe we'll back burner it and produce it later on. But in general, the ideas are coming from our community. But we're also saying things. I mean, I'll see stuff like, hey, we have a gap here. We need to fill this area. It also, after a while, you're better off to update content than to produce new. Because let's face it, for most of us, like when you produce a membership site, the first like 2 or 3 months, that's gonna be your best stuff. You've peaked, right? So that's when you're gonna need to go outside of like here, and you're gonna need to get other folks to bring in their best, and then you need to start cycling back after probably 6, 9, definitely 12 months. And now, as opposed to releasing new, you're updating legacy. And people aren't like, oh, that's garbage. They appreciate that. They appreciate that you're continuing to do that. Don't let digital dust gather. That's a huge mistake that we made at Digital Marketer, was focusing on the new and forgetting about the fact that some of our most critical flagship premium pieces of content hadn't been updated in way too long.
Good to know. I don't want to keep you too long. Did you have any other questions, Neil?
Yeah, I do have one. So I know initially you said that you tried out by sending cookies and all that sorts of things, and that didn't quite work out for the stick rate. But have you also considered somehow going to the physical dimension of the digital training that you do? I know you're a digital marketer, of course, but perhaps adding in magazines for a higher level of subscription, or some kind of box of books that people can get once a month. I mean, is that something you have ever thought about doing, or you will do in future?
Yeah, so in most of our other markets, we do send out a monthly physical newsletter type thing, and we've absolutely seen that make a big difference. We don't at Digital Marketer, in part because we're stupid, and in part because every time we talk about it, and I realize, God, because the biggest thing that we have at Digital Marketer is 30% of our audience is outside of the US. So to ship them something physical dramatically changes our gross margins. And so many other things that we implemented did such a good job reducing churn rates, that while I would love to just do it for the sake of doing it, because I think our members would appreciate it, like, I don't know how much more revenue it's going to generate, how much it's going to impact churn, but I know for a fact that it works. And I have no doubt whatsoever that if we did it, digital marketing would be a good thing. It's something that we talk about a lot. And, after after you calling me out publicly like this, it's something I'm probably going to have to reconsider again, because it matters. Even being digital marketer, it matters. We know if we can get people to an event, for example, they generally stay forever, right? They stay forever. There's no substitute for physical, even in a digital world. I think especially in a digital world. So sending people physical things. Books, by the way, are a fantastic gift at the higher ticket. They're expensive. Cookies are cheaper, but books can be really, really good for that.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on, Ryan. And I think I'm going to see you August with Brian. I'm going to come to that one.
Very fun. We'll look forward to it. Yeah, thanks so much for having me. This was a really fun conversation. And I would encourage everybody who's out there, if you're on the fence, should I do some type of membership model? Again, I'll just restate what I said before. If you don't have a membership component in your business, then you are selling a product, and you're likely selling a commodity, which means your competitor is Amazon, and you really don't want Amazon to be your competitor. They're eating the planet. But Amazon, they're not in the vertical subscription, membership business. I don't really see them doing that. So I think for a while, at least until Amazon decides that they want to splinter and just gobble all of us up, I think this is our best shot right now. So get in the membership game.
All right. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Ron. We'll
y'all.
see you at traffic conversion next year.
Thank you. Thank you. Look forward to it. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye. Great. Jenna, can I just say I'm a little bit starstruck still? It's
I'm
I was
gonna
a
have
little
to
bit
lean
worried.
back. I'm going to straight for too long.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when we started this call, everyone, I just said to Jenna, hey, you ask the questions. Like, I don't know, Ryan, I don't want to fumble with my questions, right? And she was like, ah, you can do it. It's all right. And I'm like, whew, okay, all right. That was good.
I've been
It
like
was
sitting,
awesome.
like trying to have like good posture and stay excited. That's a long call with a lot of information.
It was very good. I mean, I have to say that some of the things that he shared about how he's running it, I got to go through it again. I got to take notes. And I mean, I feel bad for everyone who's not here because I know we take this off on Sunday, all these calls that we're doing. So it's just like really immense value. I liked it.
It is. And that I would say that's only like even a piece. And a lot of the heart of what Digital Marketer offers is not even just Ryan. It's all the other people that are there and the community that they can bring in, which is always pretty amazing people from around the globe. So
Absolutely. And I just want to say for everyone who's like, hey, thanks, Neil and Ryan and Jenna, we're not quite done yet. Don't go anywhere. I want to go back to what we were talking about earlier, because following on from what Ryan said, if you're not building a membership site, if you feel that you will kick it off, but the churn will bear you down, or you'll feel you're not doing something right, that's where both Jenna and I can step in and help you out. So what I want to do now is I want to go back to that slideshow that Jenna was doing and walk you through exactly what Membership Growth Institute can do for you and your business. So stick around, see what it is, see if it's a fit for you, and get it, because if you want to come back here in a few months and actually be sitting next to me and asking questions from experts, you got to take action and you got to get this done.
Oh, good. So I'll bring it. And so a couple people called me out on my numbers. So something that happened right before the call, and I mean like 10 minutes before the call, was we were adding a few things to make sure that you guys had the best opportunity. And so, yeah, numbers changed. I'm sorry. I'm even a math person and I messed with the numbers. So I'm very sorry about that. Let me go cycle back. So I think we ended up on Ryan, but just kind of give you a couple of the things because they were pertinent to the things that we've talked about this week and even things that Ryan talked about just now. I went over really quick. You have Donald Miller down here. He was the CEO of StoryBrand. That is where a lot of our copy, like the overall strategic structure comes from. Dr. Robert, I'm not going to butcher his name, Saldini, who talks about influence. Perry Belcher, I feel like not everyone hears a lot about Perry Belcher. He likes to hide in the back, but he does come to TNC. He is like a copy genius. Now he does get on stage with like a glass of whiskey. I've seen people bring him beer up there. He curses worse than I do, but his copy is ingenious. Damon John has been a big partner with them. Kevin O'Leary is quite the interesting individual to talk to. Richard Lindert is, man, this guy does nothing but send emails out all freaking day. And the way that he can, like, they were going through one of these strategies at Traffic and Conversion and showing how they email 10% of the list at one moment, wait to see, A or B, which one performs better, take the winning headline, change up the copy, send it to 10% more, take the winning of that copy, mix it with the winning headline, and then send it out to 80% of their list. And literally the difference can be like $60,000, $80,000 compared to if they just sent one message. So genius in email. As you can see, the CEO of Bulletproof, Gary Vanderchuck. I definitely curse more than he does. I'm pretty proud of that. Roland Frazier's there. If any of y'all nerd out, that's like Roland Frazier. Like, I have to turn all these other guys up to 2x speed, kind of like Neil had mentioned when he listens to stuff. Roland, I need to slow that down and be like, start, stop, because I have to look up half the words he uses. Let's see, or did I? Mary Smith is there. She's probably always there. She talks about Facebook. They had the Instagram expert, Miss Sue Zimmerman there, Pat Flynn. Just a really great roundup. And that is a really life-changing event. There's just too many people there. And if you've ever heard somebody say you are the sum of the 5 people around you, that is a great example. Unfortunately, I feel like all too often in our lives, we're surrounded by people who are like, yeah, you can't do that. You're basic. Like, you're just like all of us, don't even try. Whereas if you can immerse yourself in a community that is successful, that's going in that direction, and they're reaching those milestones together, it really changes how you look at your business. One of the things we also wanted to offer you, and this is kind of one of my signature entry point offers myself, it's a little bit more than some of the other ones, but one of the things we put together, and this was based off one of Ryan's events that I twisted, turned, and added some stuff to, was putting y'all into a live business growth marketing strategy so that you have every single document ready to go before you launch, that you've got your avatars the way they need to be, that you've got your before and afters, your product market fit, that you know what channels you need, you know the conversations, your 30-second pitches, your copy bullets, everything absolutely ready to go. And not just like you're guessing, but to be able to come back and say, what about this, Jenna? What about this? How does this sound? What about this? So that when you build your membership site, that your foundation is rock solid. The other one, and this was one of those where the numbers started to change. So inside of Kyvio, there are a ton of templates. So you can start out, and Neil's got in there like the landing pages, the sales pages, the thank you pages, and nothing against the team that built those, but I am immersed in Ryan's digital marketer. I've been doing this a long time. I've seen kind of what works and what optimizes, what is going to just increase your conversion rates. So one of the things that I've been doing inside of Kyvio is building a very comprehensive funnel for myself. So not even like to share, but for myself. And one of the things that, people mentioned whenever I'm showing them is like, I want those. So one of the things that I'm going to give you, and this is kind of hard, I guess it's not an easy transfer, but Neil and the Kyvio team said they'd help me out with it, is to take the templates that I'm building and share them with you. So instead of having to go in there and use the ones that web designers have built, to actually have mine available. So, like this is where the button goes. This is where the headline goes. This is kind of the general idea of how the conversation is going to flow, so that you already have those. You don't have to start from scratch. Your entry point offer, your opt-in, your sales page, the thank you pages for each one of those threes. We have scheduling pages, all the different pieces that you need to track and to put people through that different funnel at the different stages, so that you have not just a sales page, but you also have a sales page that's been converted into a thank you page after the entry point offer, so that you can upsell people at every stage. You can do it immediately. And then if they don't buy, that you can retarget, you can re-email, and you can send them to a standalone page. So for that one, I don't normally share that ever. And if I do, it's with my clients, and I charge around $3,500 minimum to do it, and only in conjunction if they're doing advertising. The other one we wanted to give you is swipe copy and emails. This one's a really big, and I'm doing it in two different ways. So Ryan Dice was on here, his signature product where he peaked. That was so funny. I'm going to give him so much stuff about that. But is the machine. If you've ever, the first book he published was about the machine. The first big product he had that he built with Perry was the machine. And that is just a sequence of emails. So everyone's like, well, what am I going to write? I've got several emails in sequence. So not that I can just give you the swipe copy for, so you can turn around, make them on your own, and instantly put them in Kyvio. But like I had told Neil before, if you are using ActiveCampaign, I can give you a link, and you can kind of see the image here on the computer where that sequence is already built out for you if you choose to use ActiveCampaign. And again, all you have to do there is go make it your own. I'll do a screen share. It's actually included in the 30-day training, but I'll show you how to customize those really quick to yourself. The first time I did this for myself, it took a long time because I actually had to build it in ActiveCampaign. And then now that I have it built in there and I can copy it to all my different landing pages, my opt-in funnels, all I have to do is go in there and change a few words, and they're easy to notice where those are. So if you bought the machine, that was $2,000 by itself and didn't include implementation, which is mostly going to be done for you. Again, if you use ActiveCampaign, the other side is just copy paste them into the Kyvio email server, and you've got them done there. In addition, y'all kind of been seeing some of the worksheets. There's never going to be a point where you don't have a worksheet to help you visualize and work through. And if there's a point where everyone's struggling at the same point in time, I'll turn around and I'll make a worksheet for that. This is actually kind of my specialty, the ability to take massive amounts of information and put it in something that's very useful. And those are all included for you, and we've made them just for this offer. And the big one, and I'll let Neil talk about it a little bit, is just 1 year of Kyvio Pro. And if you're not familiar with the different levels of Kyvio, the reason I wanted Neil to include this one specifically is because it includes the ability to use affiliates yourself. So that ability to completely maximize your profits, that you can get someone else to help sell your product for you. You can get an invisible sales team that doesn't cost you anything until they've actually sold something, which is just amazing. Did you want to add anything to that, Neil?
Yeah, I do. And I want to just give some background here and answer Christina's question as well. So Christina's asking, what's the difference between InstaSuite and Kyvio? Christina, they're both the same thing. InstaSuite was what we had till November of last year. We rebranded it, turned it into Kyvio. So here's the thing. InstaSuite, or Kyvio now as it is, has come through a lot of iterations. And what I'm more excited about is in the next few months, we're going to release the modules which have been redone basically from scratch. So they're not going to have any sorts of limitations which are stopping us from adding some things to the platform at the moment. And anyone who has Kyvio now gets that as well. So again, fair warning as well, when we do release those, we're going to kill the Kyvio levels as they exist at the moment. So as you know, if you go check out the Kyvio pricing page, you'll see you can either get like 3 sites or 5 sites or 15 sites, and you can get 100,000 contacts and so on and so forth. So there are lots of limits in there that people are using to build a really, really big business. But what we're going to do when we release the Kyvio 2.0 is kill those plans as they currently stand and just focus on giving smaller plans but individual plans. So if you, let's say what I'm offering today to you for Kyvio Pro, which is $149 a month, by the way, if you come back to me in 3 months and if you want to buy the whole thing, that's going to be easily $399 a month if you want to get everything as it is at the moment, even more. Because right now, within Kyvio Pro, we give you the ability to have 15 different sites. If you want to do that 3 months from now, when we have released a new pricing plan, you would actually end up spending $49 a month for just the membership part alone, and then for just one site. If you want to add 14 more sites to it, you're going to have to basically multiply with some discounts, of course. So that itself will end up costing you $399 a month, and that's just 1/6 of the platform. So what I wanted to do, Jenna asked me, Jenna said, Neil, we think Kyvio would go really well with it, and of course that is what we do. So I wanted to put this in place here for you, so you get the most value for your money as part of this package. And again, do understand there are people there that are paying $1,788, which is $149 a month, regularly, consistently, to get access to this as well. And it will change your business. It will simplify your business. It will make it more affordable for you. That's always been our goal with Kyvio.
No, it is. And one of the things that I did when I came on with Kyvio, the first thing I did was research every single competitor I could find on the internet. And aside from the platforms that are really nowhere near, as well done and comprehensive, the price point is way below the market value. ClickFunnels is an example just for the funnels. No affiliate starts at $100. Kajabi is, I think it starts at 89, but it goes up so quickly per month. That kind of ability to build multiple platforms and have affiliates. Affiliates is a very expensive aspect to onboard onto your systems, is just really unheard of on the internet right now.
Exactly. And I mean, if you look at other solutions out there, they really have no problem charging you much more because their costs are high just as much as ours are. We're at that stage at the moment where we are able to put in everything that we have back into the platform and continue growing it. We have 7 developers working on this around the clock. We have 3 full-time support staffs. I mean, our support is one of the best there is out there. We've had people like Chris saying about the platform. He said that a very focused all-in-one suite. This is all you need. And thank you for the constant updates and unrivaled support. So that was Chris who said that. Then Jim said, I'm amazed how easy this is to use. It's even easier than it looked following along the video. So I just recently finished a 9-week workshop series where every single week for between half an hour to an hour, I would show a business strategy and how you can execute that with Kyvio as well. So we're very active in giving education to make sure you get the best out of the tool as well. But like we're showing you today, this basically is a bonus to the Membership Growth Institute, because the Membership Growth Institute by itself, the 30-day training that Jenna's created, the 4-hour kickoff call that she's going to do, and every week I'm going to be available for you on a one-on-one call, that itself is just worth its weight in gold.
Absolutely. And obviously I did fix the math eventually, guys. I'm really sorry about that. But all those aspects, it's just unrealistic. And I'm looking at this and I feel like on a marketing call, this is kind of the thing you generally see every time. They're like, oh yeah, this is what it's worth. This is what you get. I can't speak for everyone, as Ryan kind of mocked on one of the more expensive partners, and they kind of look at me and shake their head all the time. But my clients, these are very realistic numbers. I get paid $3,500 just to build out marketing strategies. My first client, one of my first clients, we built out funnel pages for them, it was an additional $3,500 plus $4,500 in ad spend. It was $11,000 for the rest of their funnel, the emails, the websites, and everything. It just takes a lot to build something when you're building a $2 million business. How do you democratize that cost into a platform where everybody can learn, where everyone can do the things they need to do, where they know exactly what to build? Same problem with Kyvio when I first got into it. And it's not unique to Kyvio, it's Kajabi, it's ClickFunnels, it's Kartra, it's Teachable. It doesn't matter. It's very difficult to know where to start. It's difficult not because the platforms are difficult, but it's a business tool. It is not the strategy. It is not the technique. It's not the tactics that are going to take to actually create a profitable membership site, a profitable business structure. So what I tried to put all in here is it's literally 30 days where we're going to walk you through and help you. So actually implement, actually get shit done. And I hate cursing. I try really hard not to do it on live, but truly to get it freaking done. Don't talk about it. Don't think about it. Like, I'll get started, I'll get Kyvio, but we're just going to do the monthly plan. If you're not going to sit there and pick up a product where someone's going to walk you through, coach you through, give you the tools you need to get it every single day done, the swipe copy done, the worksheets, the checklist, the actual funnel templates to easily upload. And I have them done right now for my agency. I know there were a couple of agency people on here that would probably love to have those. But I'm going to be building along with you the ones for as we build our own membership site inside of Kyvio. And I'm happy to share those along with you as well as soon as they're done. So the ability to get something for $2,000, well, $1,997. And they also wanted to break it up, Neil and Steven, down to a 6-month payment plan, which was actually a little longer than I think we originally discussed. Because TNC does come up in February, and we wanted everyone to go there so that once you're building it, once you've got it going, once you've sold, once you're building your community, that you can go out to traffic and conversion with Neil and Steven and I. We're going to have an event there in addition with it's just the Kyvian group, but to actually get you out there and going and take you through the actual step-by-step journey so that you know every single day what needs to be done, what needs to be built. Hey, I need this landing page. And here's a checklist that says my landing page needs a headline. Here's the worksheet to help me build the headline. I need to have the social media icons, the images. We're going to explain all of that because I really did put that into like every step of the training. Is the idea is that you're in this together. You're not alone. And there's never going to be a moment, outside of 24 hours where you don't have help. Somebody will be there to help you. And I'll be honest, at a price point under $2,000 is compared to what I've paid for help at Digital Marketer and with Mike Archie, with Grant Cardone, with all the different mentors that I've actually paid, unheard of. Usually if I pay $2,000, it is only for the information and maybe an event ticket.
Exactly. And I mean, I know I myself have spent, close to $5,000 a month on mentoring alone. And you're basically getting to pick my brain once a week just for $2,000, which is, which will cover your next 12 months. And if you want to continue using Kyvio, then you just continue paying $49 a month. If you don't want to continue using that, that's perfectly fine as well. Now, I do want to address this to anyone who already has access to Kyvio because I'm getting questions, oh, but I already have Kyvio. Do I still need to get this? Now, consider this as an addition to what you have. So let's say you got into Kyvio with maybe an AppSumo plan, or maybe you have a monthly plan from before, or maybe you have a pro plan from before. Well, for starters, if you have a pro plan from before, you probably want to go back and cancel that, because this is better pricing. That's the first thing, straight up, right? Because you're getting everything else here as well. Second thing, if you have a monthly plan where you're paying $69 a month, you probably will also want to go back and cancel that, because this is still better than that, because you will now be able to get $49 a month.
We don't want to cancel it. I don't want you to lose your stuff. Isn't that a WordPress support type thing?
So here's the thing. If you want to add on to it, that's fine. So let's say this. If you have 10 sites before with a business plan, you get the pro plan, you add 15 more, you have 25. If that's what you want, perfect. But if you only need 10 or 15, then you can cancel the old one after you buy this one. I mean, that's just in case, you don't lose your account immediately. So you can buy this one and whatever write your previous subscription if you cancel the old one. Does that make sense, Jenna?
Yes. And we had a question. I have no idea how to pronounce your name. I'm so sorry. With this upgrade, will we have constant personal support and accountability from you and Jenna? If we need help of any kind. I don't want to say constant. Daily, okay? I do need to sleep. I do have working hours with kids. And then when I work outside of those hours, my husband gets grouchy. Yes, you will definitely have help with your funnels to sell to your customers. This is probably one of the things that I am, our funnels to sell to our customers as a service of our digital marketing agency. If you're an agency, I have no problem consulting with you. A couple of you mentioned you were interested in the partner plan with Ryan. I'm not going to lie, I get a commission if you join. So if you could mention my name, or I can actually hand you off to my own partner coordinator, and we can discuss some details of what that looks like. Plus Garrett rocks. But please understand, this is with help. I can't do it 24/7, but I will be taking 30 days out of my life. We're not launching any of our agency stuff. We solely focused on this aspect.
Exactly. And Joe, I just want to kind of add to that. Listen, the whole reason why we started this group was because I want to see, like, literally my and Stephen goals is to have 1,000 entrepreneurs making the first $1,000 with courses. So, and again, this is just for everyone. Even if you feel like, okay, this is awesome and I want to get in, just know that if you do get in, you basically pay me to be more available. That's the only thing. And I think it's kind of a fair transaction, right? That you pay me so I'm more available for you. That's what you're buying. You're buying my time so that when you need, you can send me a Facebook message. Neil, I'm stuck with this. Can you tell me? Can you give me advice? I can quickly record an audio for you. But if it's more complex issue, I'll say, here's my calendar link again. Just book a call for next Wednesday or, coming Wednesday. And I'll talk and we'll kind of brainstorm how to resolve this. So it depends. If it's something I can solve in a minute, with an audio, I'll send you an audio reply immediately. But if it's something that takes me, half an hour to go through, discuss with you, I'll get on a call with you once a week to discuss that. So again, constant means that when you need me, I'll be there for you. But you got to need me first. I'm not going to come to you and ask you, hey, have you done your course yet? No, that's on you. But like
I might.
You might. Okay, fair enough. But to me, Jenna, this is like, I spoke to a Navy SEAL diver. So he talked about people that he rescued who were kind of drowning. And I asked him, like, the kids in the water, the women in the water, men in the water, who do you rescue first? And he said, I rescue the person who's reaching out to me. And that's the point. That if you reach out to me, you're the closest to me, you're the easiest one I can help, and I will. But for that, you got to show me that you're taking action, and I will do whatever it takes to help you get to that end point and then beyond.
Yes.
So I hope that answers that question.
And I have one question and one comment. One was from Alejandro. Oh man, I love y'all's names. I'm so bad with them though. And he wanted to know, does this include the traffic and conversion ticket? Yes, it includes one ticket. If you need another ticket, we can work with me directly and I can send you another invoice for that. The only thing is that I have a limit on how many tickets and how long I can sell them for. So when we say like this is a limited time offer, I've worked with Ryan and got special pricing so that we can even afford to offer you the package at this price. But if you need more tickets, let me know. One is included. Let's see what else we had here. What was my other note? I completely brained out. Yes, daily support is a really big deal. Somebody was asking when it started. That's a Neil question a little bit. I think we discussed Monday.
Yeah, we discussed, I mean, Sunday or Monday, whatever's convenient, but really because, like you said, about the traffic and conversion, summit tickets and other things, we want to do our kickoff call on Monday. I think you're planning on Monday or Tuesday, right?
Yeah, somewhere around then. With the idea is if you do fall behind, I'm not going to like, if 30 days starts on Monday or Tuesday and the 30 days hits and you're behind, I got locked in the hospital one time for a week. I'm not going to like leave everyone dry. We're still going to be there helping everybody make sure they get through. And one of the things that Ryan, I saw him like trip over it because he didn't want to go into it. When he first sold Lab Elite, it was at an event where another business had the hotel booked, one of his other businesses. And so they were like, you know what, we're just going to throw an event. And they just kind of like randomly threw it out there. They oversold the event. I'm sorry, not the event, the product. They were hoping to sell, we'll sell 100, right? They sold like 600. Wow. And they had all this implementation and help and coaching included in Elite, and they could not even support it. So I absolutely understand that I might get into this, and depending on how many we sell, it might be too much for me, because the idea, my goal, that's what my thought was. My goal for the end of 2018 is to, in a documentable way, so for those who want extra help, that will be part of it. I want to know where you're at. I want to know where your numbers are. And I want to help you double wherever you're at, period, dot. I'm not going to do it for free for anybody, but for those who are paying, they're getting on either my agency, my membership, or this. I want to help those people double and give them whatever they need to make that happen. So that's part of where this comes from, is how do I help the most people double their money? Because I know what money actually means to people. It's not, Ryan's talking in big numbers. So you could sell it one day and, retirement. I'm like, no, it's food on the table. It's being able to buy a big house, not because it's a big house, but it's in a good neighborhood with great schools so that your kids can have the best start, so they can have the best start for their kids and grandkids. It's not boats and polo ponies and yachts, which I have those clients, but they're not as fun. I want to help the people where that money makes the most impact.
Exactly. And I just wanted to add to that as well, that soon I'll have to buy diapers. So, it just goes around, right?
Amazon delivers in 2 days. And if you get 5 on subscribe and save, you save 20%.
Finland? I don't know. I'll try that out. That's a good trick. But here's the thing. I want to answer Danny's question as well. So Danny's asking, I have Kyvio Lifetime. I paid a lot on the initial buy and it moved up from InstaSuite. So, went from InstaSuite to Kyvio. How does this change my current membership? So Danny, just think about it adding on to what you have at the moment. So let's say with InstaSuite, you had a 10-site license. So I think it was a 5-site license based on what you bought then. This gives you 15 more. With InstaSuite, you had 5,000 customer limit. This one gives you, I think, 100,000 more. With InstaSuite, you had 100,000 subscriber limit, or 5,000 subscriber limit. This gives you 100,000 more. So really, if you are serious about this, if you're serious about growing a business eventually, and I mean, you've seen how InstaSuite, now Kyvio, has come along in the last 12 months alone, or I think 16 months alone. And we have a long way to go in terms of adding more things, making it more robust, making sure it fulfills your every need without overwhelming you. So again, if you believe in the vision, if you feel strongly that Kyvio is for you, then upgrading right now would be better than waiting 3 months and then coming back and saying, oh, can I still get this price? Because we won't have it then anymore. In fact, this price is better than what's on the website, because if you go buy from the website, you will still pay about 90% of what I'm asking you to pay today, and you will only get the software. You don't get any training, you don't get my time, you don't get Jenna's time, you don't get the checklist, the worksheets, the emails, the funnel templates, or anything else. You only get the software. With this, the software is more of for me, it was more of an afterthought. Like, hey, if you're helping you grow a membership, might as well give you the software to run the damn thing. Right? I guess. But that was the idea, to give you the tools, but beyond that, all the training that you need.
That's light cursing. That's baby cursing. You haven't even ventured over into F-bombs. The funnels and swipe covers the cost. Yes. I won't even go into that. The swipe, like I said, that is digital marketer swipe, edited by me to be specific to membership sites, with the experience that I've received both in our membership from the clients that I've implemented it with. So for an example of like, how does it different from the original machine? The indoctrination email from the machine is like hella long. Like it's forever. And I had so many clients that were like, you know what, our people are getting it and it's just too overwhelming. You're asking too much. And I took at it. I even looked at, you know, Ryan's own thing, ask one thing. It asked too much, too much, too much, too much. So breaking it down and having one ask, doing things like sending sequences where you can structure it out. So all of that is included. I can't promise that it's all written right this moment today. Some of them I'm still working on in active campaign, but they will be done over the weekend. So I think someone's asking for a link. I missed most of the video. Got to go from Daniel. Yeah, I don't think we ever included a link.
I did actually.
Okay.
I mean, I did drop it, but I'm gonna do that again in a second.
I think it keeps on moving.
Yeah, it does. I think I might have to pin it up as soon as I put it. So
Yes,
Jenna, maybe you can answer a
payment-
question. I'll pin it.
Yeah, 6 payments are available. And those are like, there is no like cancellation out of those 6 payments. Like, I don't mean to be harsh, but if you agree, the tickets to TNC alone, that's like a big hard cost off of this offer. Whereas the rest of it is kind of just barely covering what it costs to put all the templates together, to put all the knowledge base together, and put everything into one page. The only thing I will say is the price that is included, that is only good. I think you were going to make it good through Sunday.
Yeah, so I think I wanted to keep it open till Sunday or maybe middle of Monday because we're going to do the training on Monday, the 4-hour training, right? And I just don't want people to come into the middle of it and say, oh, I just got my subscription like 10 minutes ago and here I am disrupting the whole session. So I just don't want that kind of dynamics in the group. And just for that reason, I think I wanted to close it Sunday, but I could keep it open for a Monday for a few hours, depending again on when we want the training to be. So Paul, you were asking about the training earlier. When is that going to start? It's going to be on Monday. I'll let Jenna kind of decide on the time because she'll be the one leading that.
And let's see, do you include flights? No, you're on your own for the flight. I do know plenty of people that are coming from the UK. In fact, that was what I was talking to Ryan about. August 26th is another partner training day. They hold them monthly, and Brian Plum is flying in from the UK to go. He's a riot. Having both of us in the building is going to be interesting. Let's see, I'm focusing essentially to build chatbot services for businesses inside my digital marketing agency, but I'm also thinking to start selling services of building funnels for business and having support from you. It would be awesome. That's great. And like I said, if you, one of the things that Neil has not mentioned, and I hope I don't get in trouble for mentioning it, is there's going to be a lot coming out with Kyvio in the way of building funnels as a funnel builder. And by having those structures inside, you will be able to use Kyvio as a funnel builder for your business. So you will be getting those funnels that I'm building, and just don't completely copy it, make some original content and images, but I have no problem with you using what I'm creating.
Cool. Yeah, so I mean, you know, we have a lot of new development in the work at the moment, and I just feel very confident that I'm not going to say the name of the other software because, you know, the creator is a good friend of mine, but we're probably going to match them, which is, I think, by far one of the best funnel software at the moment out there. And we're going to match them. Plus, we have everything else, and we're at the same price level. So, you know, in terms of software, we're doing the right things. And just, I want to get you involved because I want to see more success stories coming out of there. So far, and I'm going to release this one tomorrow, we had Veronica Benini. She is Italian, and she has now done over 100,000 euros with courses that she created within Kyvio. And she used to, I mean, you'll see in the video that she did it. She's a funny woman, you know, fun woman as well. And
I'm enrolled. Sorry, I had to interrupt.
No, it's okay. So she showed me like how she used to record videos. She would sit on the top of her sofa because that's where she had the best wallpaper background, and have her iPhone basically held in her hand recording a video like this. And now she has a studio in Milan. I mean, now she has opened up an office in Milan, and she has got 2 assistants who are helping her out with video editing. And that's what I want to do. I want to create success stories where your life changes to the point that you show me how it used to be and then how it is now.
Well, since you're on that note, so I used to film from a cell phone, and I'll have to post the original in there because someone posted like one of Ryan's original videos, and I was just dying laughing. Found it. Remember, we were doing the research for how to use YouTube Creative License. Yeah. I found one of Ryan's originals, and so I posted one of mine, and it's grainy and like people complain, but the content didn't exist, so I made it. I started out with an iPhone. I'm going to kind of walk away. So this is where my little mini studio, let's see. I've got like studio, I've got lights, my little background, because I didn't like the plain white walls. That's not even the good one. I kind of destroyed it to make my little one a little bit. This is, I got the big, so I have a 24-seat training room now we build in clients. And you can't see it from that angle, but we also actually got the owner of the building to build us a stage even, which they don't generally like to mess up, you know, the square box. But the ability to build that's like a really good point. Not everyone I got my own kitchen. I don't even know what to do with the kitchen in an office. We have windows. I've got like a 10-person conference room. Like, it seems so crazy, but that is true. Like, when I just started out, it was this really grainy, fuzzy, dark, bad iPhone video trying to show people how to load a piece of thread on a sewing machine. And it's grainy. You can hardly see anything. But I was like that professional sewer. I was really good at sewing on machines, and I bought a new machine and I had no idea how to load the thread. And I was like, if I'm having this much issue with the instructions, let me make a video for everyone else. It really comes down to that. If there's something out there and no one has done it or done it well, make that video. And if the content is good, if it does not exist, if you're providing value, you're going to start building that community. And I mentioned it, I think it was yesterday or day before. It doesn't matter what Ryan tries to sell now. People just buy it because Ryan's selling it. They know him and they know that he's going to add value. They know that if he puts something out and you don't like it, he's just going to instantly refund you. They buy because they know that his community puts out quality pieces. I posted like a link to a war room video that one of my other partners created. And he just goes through talking to other war room members. That's really valuable content. Like, no kidding. I think he could have packaged that up, sold it for $20 and people would have bought it. Now his product though is like 20 grand plus. So he provides that kind of value for free. So if anyone's like questioning, you know, how are they going to do this? You don't need to have the best of everything now. You need to build something to start and move your way up.
True. So just, you know, I just want to kind of answer a couple of questions here as well. Yes, there's a class tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to put a link to that again in the chat, so in this group, so you can check it out. That's the first thing. The second thing is that people are asking, are the classes for the paid group, the Membership Growth Institute, going to coincide with this? So what we're doing at My First 1,000 was my promise to deliver you 5 actionable live sessions with Jenna and Aiden, and also bring Ryan on. That ends tomorrow. After tomorrow, what I'm going to do, just so you know what's going to happen next with the group, I'm going to take away all the trainings after Sunday, and I'm going to repackage it into a paid product. Everyone can still join this group, but they will have to pay money to get access to all these trainings that you're getting for absolutely free. That's the first thing. The second thing is that then starting Monday, this becomes more of a community. This becomes a movement where everyone is equally sharing what they're doing, what they're not doing, what's working for them, what's not working for them. So right now, it's me and Jenna teaching you stuff. From Monday, I want you to start bringing in your value. I want you to start bringing in what you can tell us about what your business is about and what you are thinking about doing and where you need help there. And the whole community is going to jump in and answer those questions. I mean, this group grew to almost 1,000. I think it's close to 1,000 right now in less than 10 days. And I'm confident that by the end of this year, we'll hit 5,000 or even more. And then by the end of this next year, we'll be the biggest group there is for membership sites. And you've got an opportunity to be here, stick around, get a lot of value, give a lot of value, and make this your second home. So I hope that distinction's clear. And again, it's, you know, as I was discussing with you, I think it was on day 2 on pricing and levels, that the more you pay, just the level, the access changes, right? So if you pay nothing, which is in this group, what I'm asking you to do is graduate, you know, get, well, this is Kyvio t-shirt, but get one of the My First 1,000 graduate t-shirt, become a success story for this group so I can help inspire more people out there. But if you get the Membership Growth Institute, then I'm personally responsible for your success. Then I'm personally responsible to be there for you when you need me. Those are the key differences.
And just, we are going to keep them up till Sunday, right?
Yeah, Sunday is the plan. That's right. And just to answer Greg's question, will Kyvio remain available and supported, or will I have to go on a monthly plan to use it? So if you have the old plan, if you have the lifetime plan, if you upgrade now and then 11 months later you decide it's not right for you, you don't want to continue paying monthly, you go back to what your original access level was, which was Kyvio lifetime, right? So you never ever lose that because you paid for that already. But if you want more, if you want to upgrade and get monthly, then yeah, you can have access to that.
All right, and see, I'm going to call you Carlos because I know how to pronounce that word. Just to clarify, the support from you is just only for the first 30 days after buying or during the whole year. So I would say probably 60 days very intensively, right? For the rest of the year, I'm still going to be in there and I'm still going to be building. It may not be like super dedicated because I do have agency clients to go back and attend to, but definitely 60 days. I'm definitely still going to be in there after that. And I think one of the things that we'd be putting together is a separate space just to have some additional coaching if that's all you need going forward.
Yeah. Just looking at the question still. Alejandro says, my number one block are videos. That's where we'll fight the most. All right, Alejandro, bring it on. I'll show you how I record videos. It's a very low-tech method. I mean, most of the time Zoom works as well if you just want to get it done. But I'll tell you this. Okay, I'm going to add something as a bonus right now for anyone who's deciding to get in till, well, it's what, 5:20 p.m. Eastern, so about midnight, past midnight for me. But here's what I'm going to do. When you get in before today, before the end of today, I'm going to send you a personal email with a video link tomorrow that I'm going to create this video tomorrow morning and show you how I sell something even before I create it. So I've done this before many times. I mean, I've documented the process as well, but I'm going to summarize it for you for 5 minutes. And hopefully with that, we can get you paid even before you come to the end of 30 days, right? That's my goal. If you follow what I'm going to show you, and again, Alejandro and Paul and anyone else who's jumping in, I am going to challenge you. I think Jose as well. I will challenge you and I will help you make money before, let's say, the 30 days are up or 15 days are up. But for that, you got to do what I tell you. I mean, Jenna is far more organized than I am, so she'll tell you do this first and do that first. And that's really, really good when you are really getting into it. But even before you talk to Jenna, I'm going to help you make money. How about that? Just with the training. I'm going to give you 5-minute training. I'm going to give you steps that you need to do. I mean, when you do it, you got to come back to me and tell me how it went. And I can guarantee you it will make money because we're going to sell something for $1 and then charge more later. I'll leave it at that. I won't reveal anything more than that, but I can tell you that it will make you money if you just execute what I tell you to execute. So if you get in right now, either on the split pay plan or the full plan, I'm going to send you a video tomorrow morning when I wake up showing you what I did and how you can replicate that. Is that a fair deal?
That seems awfully fair.
Good. Sounds
Here's
like
another thing, and I would never say again what Ryan's on. If there's a question I can't answer or that I don't feel as confident answering, so there are certain platforms I may not be the best at. Instagram, like we do with one client, but it's a completely different industry compared to some of like the other aspects. I can take questions and bring them over to Digital Marketer Lab, let the whole world answer it and bring the answers back to you. Like there is someone, if not me, if not Neil, if not Steven, in our networks, we will find the answer.
Cool. So I'm going to answer Joao's question again. Joao's asking, I didn't understand what is the bonus that ends tomorrow. It actually ends tonight, but the bonus is this. So I have a very unique method which I use to sell a membership for one time only for $1 because it's very, very low commitment. And the actual payment comes after I deliver, right? And I've done this in past to get 150 people to pay me $1 each. And I deliver the training to them live and they pay me after they have consumed the training. I've done the same thing to generate 3,000, I think it was, exact figure was $3,788 with about 3 hours of work. So I'm going to show you that in a 5-minute video. I'm going to show you exactly what I did. And regardless of what your niche, what your market, what your idea is, I'm going to show you how to execute it even before you do that first kickoff call with Jenna. So that when you get on a call with Jenna, you can tell her, yeah, I did what Neil told me to do and I made money. Now now tell me how I can scale this up, how I can make it actually better. That's what Jenna's going to help you with.
Outstanding. Any other questions? Let's see. Feast and famine. Yeah, real estate agents. Whew, that is a hard business, a little bit competitive. I don't know, Christina, what you were specifically thinking of doing a membership site for, but if you've done anything profitable in real estate, you can teach other realtors, and it would probably be more profitable than being a real estate agent.
Absolutely. Sometimes when you've been doing something for long enough, it's worth teaching other people how to do it because they can learn and execute and they can get results with it.
I feel like that's always just like the next stage in evolution. When we were in the military, at the beginning, you like do all this work and you're like, what do those people way up there do? Like, I'm doing all the work. As you get better and you do the work, then you manage the work, then you teach the work. So teaching is just the next step in the evolution there.
So Jenna, Paul's asking, when is the kickoff call? I think it's on Monday, right?
We can do kickoff call on Monday. Now, is that going to be the 4-hour?
Yeah, if that is, whatever other day works for you. I think Tuesday might be okay as well. It's entirely up to you.
We can do Monday. I would just say that we need to start it at 1 or 12, my time.
Okay. I think that's okay because as long as there's a replay, people can also watch it later, right?
That is the plan, and hopefully it'll work for 4 hours. I've never pushed the limits, although I feel like we're pushing it now. We've been on the phone, Zoom,
yeah,
for 2.5 hours nearly. So I think we can handle 4.
Yeah. And Samantha, yes, the calls will be recorded. The group call that Jenna is doing will be recorded, so you can have access to that after as well.
It's like a standard. So when all of this is said and done, I will be moving all the content over into just some Kyvio stuff so that Neil can pull from it and I can pull from it. Every single thing as a standard when I do coaching is recorded. It's too hard sometimes to take in all the information and then turn around and implement it as well. So this particular coaching call will include live implementation, but I definitely want it to be available for people who are in a completely different time zone, for people who take it and, they do it once and they're not quite sure if they got it. So everything that I'm going over in the marketing strategy predominantly will be gone back over. But I would rather, if possible, that you build that foundation and we can go ahead and start moving on to content. Let's see. I agree. Absolutely. 18 years oh my gosh. And you're a broker. Yes, you could definitely teach, and then you could even go a step further and start working with like agency partners to kind of do like what Neil and I are doing here, where you're not just coaching them, you're turn around and add a profit maximizer, which is the done for you. Any other questions? I'm starving again, and I got halfway through my I cannot promise that I will not be eating on some of these coaching calls.
I think it's all right. I think we can do with that.
I love my food.
That's cool. I think we can probably end this call here, but remember there's another one tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, same time. Tomorrow we talk about traffic and building a tribe. And once you build a tribe, we'll just make it so much easier for you to sell access to your membership sites month after month, along with also then the paid tribe where you can actually give more value, just like Ryan was talking about today.
And will Aiden be on the call tomorrow?
Yes, he will. So he'll be presenting the Facebook part. And Jenna, if it's okay after that, you can present the LinkedIn part.
Sounds
and
good.
We can take it from there.
It should be interesting. I always like talking to other traffic people because that's where we play so much in, and the different ways that people are able to leverage it. And it really comes down to a personal thing, how you want to use it. Or as Ryan said, pay for it.
Pay for it with time. And I'll tell you this, Aiden's method, and I'll give you just a little bit of preview there, is a lot of high touch method. So he connects with a lot of people. And he was showing me, so I asked him, Aiden, hey, what are you going to show tomorrow? Can you give me an insight? And he's prepared slides because, he's a teacher. He wants to have all the material ready beforehand. So what he showed me was also that now he's building a Facebook chatbot, and that's actually beating his emails. An actual revenue that he's generating, not just clicks. So everyone quotes, I've got 100% open rate, 98% open rate. He's actually at the stage now where he's making more money with his chatbot than he's making with his emails.
So Ryan, I mean, we didn't even get into that. So Molly Pittman started as an intern with Ryan, was like, hey, I'd like to test out this Facebook thing, got really good with ads. And then as soon as ManyChat became available, started working with that. And they actually ran it, I believe, for TNC 2 years ago. And it slaughtered every other thing that they've done. I mean, just blew it out of the water. Wall Street Journal is using them. We use them. We have a quiz where when you go onto our agency, just as value added, like take a quick quiz. We have not even monetized it yet. We just wanted to get it done as part of a Lab Elite training. But the bots out there are killing it. Now, I cannot say that every bot service is great, but the bots themselves are doing wonderful.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I think bots are going to change the way we market online. It's just going to make it so much more automated. And actually, because everyone is on Facebook anyway, it's just going to be really interesting. So Aiden's going to show that. I know you're going to talk about LinkedIn as well. So yeah, I think all in all, we can expect a pretty good session.
Well, very cool. I'm going to sign off, eat some lunch. Thank you for everyone. And if you want to keep your questions coming, I'm going to go back over them. For the ones that Ryan didn't get to, I'll send them over to him separately. I'm sure the group would love to hear him, like his lab group wants to hear the answers. So we'll get the answers one way or the other.
Yeah, and just so everyone knows, the link that you have to go to is myfirst1000.com/MGI. So I don't know what M like the acronym is, but Membership Growth Institute is what you're looking for. And I want you to enroll in that as soon as you can so we can work with you to help you research, build, and grow your next membership site. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.